Celebrate Texas Card House Dallas' 4th anniversary. High hands from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. $1,000 drawings every hour from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Buy 4 hours for $44.
What's going on, everybody? It's TCH Live special edition here on Wednesday, as we've got one heck of an awesome show here on deck for you guys. Really looking forward to this one. So thank you so much for tuning in. We've got some very special guests. So we've got Ken Paxton. We have the State Attorney General here for the state of Texas in the card room. We're going to have a special interview with him coming up in the middle of our live stream. And for our live stream game that we've got going on, we've got some very famous faces. We've got, of course, Raymer, 2004 main event champion, the WSOP. We've also got PokerFace Ash, and we've also got Wolfgang Poker. So we've got some, and we also have Fireman Scott, of course, joining us. In addition to some local Austin regulars as well, Doug and Kevin there on screen at the moment, as we are finishing up our first PLO bomb pot. So we'll jump into that here in just a moment. But I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in on this special live stream Wednesday edition here on TCH Live. And, of course, I'm Aaron McAvoy. I'm going to be hanging out with you here for the rest of the evening, and we'll see just how long these players want to go. And basically, as long as they want to play, we'll be on the air. So kick back, relax, grab a beverage, grab something to eat, and enjoy some 5-10 no limit Texas Hold'em with some bomb pots sprinkled in. Speaking of bomb pots, let's take a look here as we've got Doug here rivering top set, but there's a flush and a couple of straights on board, so that's a little bit sketchy. Greg is going to go all in here. Greg Raymer all in for 116 bucks, and Fireman Scott going to make the call here with the rivered 10 high flush. Doug also makes the call, working with just the set of aces on top and not really anything on bottom, but he's going to get his chips chopped in half by Greg and Scott. Yeah, so let's see here. If we look back in time, looks like Fireman Scott there was working with the double flush draw on top, the hearts on bottom, so that's what kept him around. And then simply too much in the middle to go folding the 10 high flush when you get there. So, all right, all right. Eric Van Loozen joining me here in the chat. What is up, my man? Welcome to the stream. Albert as well. We got Mighty Duck. Welcome in, guys. Heck yeah. All right, so today has been absolutely popping off here at TCH Social in Austin. For anyone who isn't already in the room or wasn't hanging out with us earlier in the day, we had high hand giveaways every 20 minutes, giving away $800 seats into the main event, which is running now. First flight at noon this morning, or noon this afternoon, whatever you want to call it, noon today. And registration now closed in that one. The evening flight, 5 p.m., still has registration open. That will be open until about 9:30 tonight. So if you're in the Austin area, you want to jump in and try to book your ticket to day 2 of the $1 million guaranteed main event here as part of the Trailblazer Tour. Come on down to TCH Social here in Austin. Get yourself signed up. We've also got satellites going and double board PLO flips to try to get turn $200 into an $800 entry and $100 on the side. So plenty of opportunities to get yourself into that $800 main event with $1 million guaranteed. And for anybody who's not aware, we have been overlaying some tournaments here at TCH Social in the last week, which means come on down and get yourself a piece of these prize pools, because the getting is good. I will definitely be in the field. I'll start playing tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing a bunch of the locals as well as anybody who wants to travel in from out of town. Got some lines on maybe some hotel deals and stuff as well if you check in with the front desk when you get in. So plenty of opportunities to make some money here at TCH Social in Austin going through the weekend. All right, 4-bet pot here between Kevin and Wolfgang. Single pair of 8s here for Kevin with the 2 overcards. Wolfgang here pretty good flop for his hand. Doesn't have any hearts.
No way.
Not that a 6 of hearts would necessarily interact with any of Kevin's 4-bet sort of range. It's going to be a bet and a call of 250, and stacked pot ratio already just about 1 as another favorable card here for Wolfgang on the turn. Double flush draw board, but Wolfgang gets to play in position, and unless Kevin rips it, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good spot for him. Now we'll see how he decides to proceed when checked to on the turn. Does he just push his opponent off of any equity he might have with a large wager, or check back? There is the check back. Going to a river, can Kevin improve? No, he cannot. Wolfgang improves, though. Not only did he have the best hand with the 2 pair, but now has a straight. And I think Kevin is going to be resigned to a full give up.
Where do you live?
South of Dallas.
South of Dallas. Okay, so not that far.
No, it's like two hours.
Yeah.
Where do you reside?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. See you around a lot of different tournament stops, but I don't think we've actually ever played together before.
No, I travel around. There's no, legal poker within several hours.
That makes sense.
But we didn't
Poker
move
Monkey,
there
what's up?
Yeah.
Wolfgang here in the tank, trying to think about what sort of sizing he should go for to get paid with his river straight. It's going to be very unlikely that Kevin has any sort of just like slow down aces, kings, queens, something like that could really pay him off. So he goes for the small bet, the 420 here.
And I'm like, because hotel rooms are $500 a night, and they wouldn't comp any of it. So instead, I'll go to the HPT in St. Louis, and they'll give me free room.
And Kevin folds his hand, inadvertently face up, but Wolfgang, of course, had the best hand the whole way down.
I had 8-9 suited.
All right, these players are mic'd up, so we're going to do a whole lot of sitting back and letting them chat and let you guys listen in. So
Are those like underwater
don't
Teletubbies?
talk over these players.
Thank you.
Yeah, they look kind of like underwater Teletubbies.
Got to plug some. Thanks for your donation.
I mean, I don't know
for
if
the
you-
cause.
This one is to hit the flop.
God
And this
damn
one
it.
is
It's either Miss Blind
I know
or
you're way younger than me because those Pokemon didn't even exist when I loved Pokemon.
Normally on the live stream, we just post players into the blinds, regardless of whether they're there or not, and that is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
he gave me this. Here you go.
There's our player anyway,
your
so
natural
perfect timing.
All is good.
Actually, I started using the Pokemon at the lodge. We started to, if you want a hand, or you stack someone, yeah, you got those. Yeah.
I didn't have a Pokemon, so he gave me this flower thing. We don't have it. We have a guy make like a
Oh, that's cool.
We have it here, and all the players are really good
Wow.
too.
Something just fell.
Jeez.
Yeah, Poker Monkey. Greg is a very, very friendly guy. Definitely happy to interact with the poker community and sort of folks
There's like a
that
magnetic.
either grew up or were very fond
I
of
felt
the
something hit
early
my arm.
days of the poker boom back when
There
Greg
might be a microphone.
won the main event.
Yeah, it's your microphone that's missing, and I don't know where it went.
That's how it works.
Ronnie here,
That's how it works. Yeah.
It's probably on the floor here somewhere.
check folding
There it is.
after defending the big blind against PokerFace
Strength of the
Ash's
call
open.
line.
Poker Fuse says, let's go, PokerFace Ash. Get it, yeah,
magnet, you
absolutely.
can just put on the backside
Got
of
to
the
play with
shirt.
PokerFace Ash a
Feel
little
that
bit
magnet
earlier
also.
today. It was a meetup game,
you
so
can just
Greg,
put that around
Ash,
the
Fireman,
hand.
Scott, and
It's
Wolfgang
so
were
terribly
moving around the
messy.
room
It
playing
actually
1-2 and
makes me
such
go
with
back
the
and watch it, but-
players in the room.
Where's that hand that Ash played so bad?
Dude, it was
She never posted it.
so embarrassing.
I know Ashley, she loses, she posts her videos. So I'm like,
If I play terribly, I'm gonna post it too. Yeah, it was.
is this your first time for this one?
Yeah.
Me too. Isn't it weird? Like it feels like we're in Dallas.
I know. Yes, I was thinking that.
Like I'm eating the chicken tenders and it tastes exactly like
I know,
scallops.
right? So apparently the chef's making me an off-menu appetizer, so I'm very excited for it. I feel very special.
Could be
Honestly.
PokerFace Ash.
I know, what a life, right?
Just for you or for all of us?
Well, for me, but hey, he'll do it for all of us, I'm sure.
No, I didn't know if they were like bringing it out. Like,
No,
oh here,
I
this
requested
is
because
like.
I told him I'm such a nerd when it comes to
Once you win
cooking.
2 main events, they'll make you an appetizer too.
You have to win 2 though.
2 and 2, yeah.
Okay, I'll take.
Fireman's got no resistance there from the king and a heart. Wins the small one.
I have 2 rings, okay, bro?
2 rings, 2
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's not get it twisted around here.
5-10.
What?
Greg definitely gets to big time everybody. Not that he was part of that conversation there, but he won the main event, and Fireman Scott has won a bracelet.
Opponents such as
Yeah.
Ray J, Tana Mono, Jose Canseco's daughter. It was some of my finest work.
That's actually awesome. Those structures are, I've never seen any of them. Are they like
They're aggressive.
really bad, right? In terms of
Yeah,
like turbo,
it goes
right?
really
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. Which is actually good for you. Like, who's more competent in that, you know, than they're gonna be, you know?
They're really fun. Last time I played that, I played the Hawk Tour girl.
Oh, I think I saw she was doing
Play
that.
poker?
Yeah, I think
She
she
did
did a
that?
celebrity poker thing, yeah.
I don't know anything about her except that she started a charity for animals, so I love her for just that
Oh, that's
reason.
great. I didn't know that.
She's using her platform for good.
Hey, that's great.
Like, I volunteer at my local cat shelter all the time when I'm at home.
Wow.
You want to help the kitties get adopted.
We've been looking to get some cats for the farm, so.
Like have wildcats.
Yeah, so they'll eat the bugs and all the stuff we don't want on the property.
Good for defense.
Yeah, but I just don't really like cats. I would love some water. Yeah, thank you.
Can I get
Wolfgang
one of those, too?
flops best, stays best until the river counterfeits everyone.
Do you guys have tea?
I'll chop this up in
Kind of tea.
showdown, but Wolfgang going to take a stab,
Chamomile.
and everyone else.
Oh, I didn't even know. I thought you folded pre-flop.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't know we were three ways.
I
Thought I
gave
saw
you
you
5,
tossing
right?
your
Okay,
cards.
perfect.
I mean, my decision's fairly easy right now. I was wondering why he open folded.
Double down.
I was like, why did you open fold against me? Like,
Yeah, counterfeit. I got him at that.
like I could be playing the board too on that.
I don't want to chop with you, Greg.
Early aggression here from
I could have sworn I saw you toss in cards.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like I wasn't paying attention to you. I was like, I thought I saw cards go in. I'll have to double check. Like, apparently you're like sleight of hand
Very
tricks.
elusive here. Gotta pay attention. Dallas is finest.
Are you still with that card room in Dallas?
The forward.
Or the Fort
spicy hand developing here. Open from Fireman Scott. Kevin with the
If she
3
ever
bet,
wins in poker,
holding the birds.
1-3 game, it plays like a 5-10 or a 2.
I bet you.
Aggressive 2-5.
I bet you it's like
Unbelievable.
40 minutes or less from my house, probably.
That's not bad. I drive about 55 to an hour 10 depending on traffic.
Same. I drive
Tough
that to
flop
get to
here for
Texas
Fireman
Courthouse
Scott.
Dallas,
Also not the
an hour
greatest
and
flop
10.
if you're Kevin with the
Ever wanna
red
go out there?
aces.
Do you have my number or just my Instagram?
I don't think I have your number, but Instagram, yeah.
DM me, I'll give you my number, but I'll give you time and stuff. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's unbelievable.
And you can vlog and stuff there.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Sweet.
Super fun.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go down there.
We have some tournaments too, but they just ended.
Nice.
But the 1-3 crash game is all you need. I played crazy.
Check raise from Fireman Scott here with the top pair and a gutty.
You see someone famous?
I guess it's the actor.
I'm guessing it is an athlete.
I think he's one of the actors. I don't know. I feel very.
I don't know most athletes at all.
Kevin
I
not
know
going
athletes,
anywhere. Makes
not
the call.
actors.
Stack pot ratio approaching 1.
This guy was about, I thought this guy
And wow,
was brown
what
hat.
a
What?
card. Brings in the front door flush though, so going to be tough to get anything with this.
Was that Paxton next?
But now, if Kevin thinks he's up against 2 pair and way ahead,
Come on in. Come on in.
Yeah.
or even a smaller set,
Doing good?
he can go for some value that
Ready to
isn't,
get it? You feel like you don't get it in today.
your sort of standard large size.
Got a
I'm
good
not in
fit?
a hand.
It was half pot. Might be a little too big. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're picking out the deck itself or the one card. Yeah, okay.
It's weird being
And
like
it
a
is.
table like this. Usually
Yeah, big
people
texture
like
changing
that
card
pretty,
there.
like, secluded,
Same as me,
like,
same spelling.
a lot of security stuff.
Your opponent has just flopped
Well, I guess
it
it does.
straight. They're not going to fold for that, so it's certainly not a bluffing size. Or maybe just a little too big for Valentine's.
He might be your guys' action player right there. He might be y'all's action player. He might be your action player right there. You gotta have one of those.
How long have you been here? Texas Poker Social Austin. Oh, wow.
Me too.
My pleasure.
Everything I went to, minus the last two, I had a IPA. The guy that bought me an IPA, so I'm feeling it, yeah.
Oh shit.
Feeling it.
I'm trying to get that urinal promotion.
People like three bags of Queens Plus there.
Right above the urinal, they have a giant
Wait,
thing,
oh.
all the urinals, and it
Deuces
says,
again, this time for Fireman Scott.
Wolfgang, you get the rest of the year time for free. So
Oh my god.
he's getting free beers everywhere he goes
That's all
to.
I've ever wanted, actually.
Above the urinal.
posters, yeah.
You know you've made it when you're
That's what
above the
I'm
urinal. Yeah.
Wow, we made it.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. That is high status.
Take the drink off the table. 10 years ago.
Wow, Bronny didn't want any piece of it.
We can grab you a tray.
As Jack goes in the muck and no further damage.
She's got one for you.
She's bringing you a tray right there, Greg.
Thank you.
It's like a comfort thing. I'm so used to it here. Like
One
I feel
orbit of
lost
B-tip.
when I don't
Doug,
have
it's
it sitting in front
0%.
of me.
What's new?
I'm constantly gonna be like, wait, something's wrong. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
I kid, of course, but Doug and I have played together for a long time. He's known to be a very snug player.
Yeah, that's. I guess it's like the one.
Hold the action over.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I've never even seen that movie.
Doug's going to play his first hand here. That's an open.
Show the ace of spades. Oh, ace of clubs. Everyone loves to show the ace of spades.
No taker.
That was your worst one, huh?
So now.
I did too.
Y'all didn't know I was so good at two-card, did you?
So it looks like we've got an empty one seat here for the first, whatever, 15, 20 minutes that we've been playing so far.
Yeah.
And I folded almost all
And
of
I
the whole.
presume
I,
to get
I
someone in
busted
there.
that tournament so you could win it. You're welcome. Yeah.
I would have loved to be on the table playing with these.
You should have waited till you were
Gentlemen
at the
and
final
lady,
table
but-
so you could give him the chips.
Yeah, I know.
Instead, I'm hanging out with you
I should
here
have thought that
in the
out
booth.
better, honestly.
Almost as good.
One yours?
Yeah, it's
Friend at the
just,
table, give me
this
yours.
is fun.
I wish. That would have made it
Easier,
easier.
yeah,
Would have
easier.
made it easier, but no. Everyone was my friend. Everyone was your friend in 2004. You were given chips several
Oh
times
my
a
god.
day.
Can you? Oh, to be a player in 2004. Holy shit.
Are you discrediting his win?
No. I'm saying poker was like, imagine how much better poker was back then.
Well, he was writing everybody's notes down in that little notebook and then referring back to them.
Like the best players were just
No, the best players did things that you would laugh at today.
crazy, right?
And the other best players would have nodded and said they played it well. And you would look at it with your knowledge today and be like, these guys are awful.
It fascinates me, honestly. I love that. Like the evolution of poker is like pretty cool to me.
Definitely true. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly.
I said the other day out here, I was talking to one of these tables and I said, I was in Houston for a week saying that I'm coming to Austin. And everybody in Houston said, oh, those players are so soft, you're going to win so much money. And I got here and I said, hey, I'm here from Houston. And all the players said, oh, the players in Houston are so horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody at the table said, let's all go to San Antonio.
Yeah.
It is funny. Everybody thinks the other guys are always bad. Bill in the chat says, congrats on my tourney finish this weekend. Thank you so much. Yeah, 6th place. Not bad. Not bad at all.
kind of beer you got?
Stash IPA. Yeah, pretty good. It's $1 beer today. So if you're ever drinking beer, not a bad day.
Is Queen here gonna make this straight on the end? And Greg bets half pot, which is only $50. Somehow this pot very small. And Kevin not gonna let him get away with a freebie there if he has just like ace-5 or something. Makes the call with the 10 and gets shown the far superior hand.
Now, I think it might have been early in day 5 that year, and I'm the chip leader. And the guy who has a top 10 stack is on my right. And we play a pot where he raises and I call and everyone else folds. And I have pocket, I think it was pocket 9s. And the flop comes ace, jack, 9, and he bets, I raise, and he just snap shoves for way too much. And I'm just like, if he has aces or jacks, like, screw it. And I called and tabled my hand, and he had ace 10. So it's like, he had a hand that might be the best hand. He just turned it into an absolute bluff.
Yeah.
And you just see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Players who were aggressive back then were just like constantly, mindlessly aggressive. Oh, if you watch the videos again, like they did a feature on him one of the earlier days. One of their feature segments. They were talking about like, oh, we got this great young aggressive player, and it's just like, it's the only hand I played with him.
Yeah, you still see some folks play like that on occasion, and it can work. You can definitely accumulate chips with blind aggression, but you also got yourself into some pretty sticky situations.
Wow, that's crazy.
Merry Christmas, here you go.
Brilliant flop here for Wolfgang, opening and getting called around the table. Flops top trips. Check to Kevin. He's going to take a little stab at this.
That's what you're saying. This guy would have done well in 2004, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, the early internet poker games, especially the limit hold'em games at the very, very beginning, some of the biggest winners, that's all they did was they just basically raised, like the raise button was this big and the fold and call buttons are these little bitty things.
Yeah.
So they're just like...
I started watching poker and got into it back when like Tom Dwan was on like
traps
Poker
his way
After Dark,
into
where it's just these real hyper aggressive kids
Jack's
coming in.
full
and
now. And Kevin picks
they were just
up
so successful. They were
a
just
Broadway
so
draw,
aggressive
but
and
yeah,
they were
this
losing
is
money.
way too sketchy.
I met
Checks
this
it
one
back,
guy,
doesn't want to see a
young
queen,
guy
doesn't.
in Europe, and he was very much at that time acknowledged as maybe the best heads-up limit holding player in the world. And I'm talking to him at this
Wolfgang
EPT event, and
continues
I'm like,
strapping.
I got to admit, like I am not a heads-up
But
specialist.
this is not going to get anybody to
I've been
bite.
playing limit hold'em for years because that was all the cash games before the boom. And I'm like,
Slow
what tips
roll
can you share with me
city.
for heads up hold'em? And he's like, well, but it's limit. So like, if you got a hand, you just got to bet and raise because you got to get money in while you're ahead. And he's like, but you can't just bet and raise when you have a strong hand. So like, if you got a draw, you got to bet and raise. So you don't always have a hand every time you bet. And I'm like, and what about when you have like no hand, no draw? He's like, well, basically you got to do a lot of betting and raising to try to get them to fold.
Going to lose.
So basically, always bet.
And I'm just like, so you're just saying bet and raise every time it's on you, no matter what? And he starts laughing. He goes, yeah, that's
I'll
about
be
it.
here playing the tourney.
I mean, that makes so much sense, though, if you think about it.
I mean, the difference between like the number
And if
1
you
and
slow roll
number
Fireman
10
Scott, I'll buy
limit
you a
hold'em
beer.
player was when did you
We're doing
correctly
a bounty
4
thing
bet
on
instead
the,
of just call the 3 bet?
Saturday.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I've had bounties on me before in like cash games, so it can work out sometimes.
I'm sure it actually works out well. Oh, here he comes. Here comes
Poker
Max.
Wait, did you
views.
just slow roll?
I did.
Okay.
Playing
I did,
2-4
'cause I didn't
limit.
get action right away.
Taj.
So I
Here,
was
Atlantic
embarrassed.
City,
I wanted
wow.
to embarrass somebody
Nice.
else. To pass it along.
Yeah, I started playing
Too strong.
Wow,
That's not
Scott.
what they mean by
5 spread
pay it
limit.
forward.
and 3-6 limit.
Here's my big
Myself.
moment, everyone. Wish me luck.
Played the spread limit game in Colorado because it was $5 max bet on everything, table games and poker. So it was a lot of 2-5 spread limit and 5-5, just literally just 5 limit. You just click in buttons for $5. They finally did change that to a $100 max bet, and now it is no limit, but it was pretty silly. And yeah, 3-6 limit. Played a fair bit of that out in the Bay Area. The Oaks Card Club, if anybody's familiar with that place. Still kicking, apparently. I haven't been there in forever, but I guess they are still a going concern. Wolfgang here from the big blind going to squeeze small, makes it 55. And yeah, it's just not quite large enough to push the field out, so all of those players are going to continue except for Optimize, who try to just get in cheap from the small blind. 3 ways to a flop. 10 high for Wolfgang. Up and downer for Bronny.
I mean, I don't see why not. Every time I travel.
I hope I'm saying his name correctly.
Yeah, because you're south of town.
I'm going to stick with Bronny, but it is
I've learned my lesson.
check through. Greg picks up a double gutter.
What's like the closest restaurant?
Bronny a pair of 6s. Wolfgang's still best. Now he's going to
I
bet.
could list many of them that you could find.
You're a big foodie, aren't you?
Yeah.
Other countries too, so people freak out about Coca-Cola, Levi's.
Ari in the chat says, both best poker announcers in the world. Well, thank you so much for that. Definitely appreciate that. Also just trying to stay out of the way as we do have players mic'd up and they're having some wonderful conversations, but I will interject from time to time here. Especially now, Greg here does raise the double gut shot, as I think is warranted. Board full to doogie. There's just, you know, not a lot out there for people to continue with unless they did check some sort of top pair on the flop, which Wolfgang did. Bronny made the call. Here we go to a river. 3 of diamonds, no good for anybody except for Wolfgang. Now we'll see if Greg is going to fire again. He does. 800 in the middle and goes for a little over half pot into 2 opponents, sort of leveraging them off of one another as Wolfgang still has Bronny to act behind.
Yeah, I'm very
a little bit of a small-ish size. Greg here with the 7 in hand, walking 7-5, and about it. So presumably trying to rep this straight, but doing it for a small size. Gets the 10 to fold, gets the 6 to fold. Greg putting on a clinic here with the 9 high. Let's go.
I also wonder though, I mean, clearly there's like head-to-head competition here in this marketplace, right? Is it going to be like a race to the market?
If you ask, I'll always tell you what I had, but I won't always tell you the truth.
I've been watching this stuff in Houston. They're little
Quads.
It's so funny. These clubs they did the same stuff.
I mean, if someone tells me what they had and they didn't show it, I'd never believe them. Ever. Many times I've like, I don't think you're lying, but I don't believe
No space in there, Eric. All one word. That'll get you loaded up. Ooh, should we do? Let's do a we'll do a gamble.
Don't worry, Greg. Good fold. I had aces. I'd be like, Mom, I don't believe you. I don't know that my mom's ever lied to me in her life. If you don't count Santa Claus.
Do you believe it more if you're talking about it afterwards? They've already folded a long time.
I just choose not to believe them no matter what. I've told people lies when it's like the game is over.
Queens versus 5.
Like, I'm probably never going to see them again.
Atypical Blackjack joining us in the chat. What's up, man? Welcome.
And I'll still lie.
Bronny quickly folds, like the 3rd pair. And here we go.
Play to win, you know?
I like
Play
that.
to win.
That's like
We are going to get ourselves a lovely video here to highlight the
TCH Social, we're trying to expand and give a slightly more elevated experience. We wanted to have, you know, the full bar, full restaurant experience. I think one of the things that has been lacking at some of our other locations is, you know, provide, you know, top quality food. And
Justin Richardson, I'm the corporate chef with Texas Card House.
Chef Justin, since he came on, has really helped us hone in on what our guests are really looking for.
The sweetness from the strawberry contrasts with the beautiful saltiness from the bacon. You know, I wanted to take something that was easy, flexible, and convenient for our players to enjoy so that they can continue playing, make it it a little bit more of a homey, loungy, comforting environment versus your average poker house.
Yep. Chef Justin, how's it going?
Good. How are y'all? How was the game?
Oh, it was
Great.
awesome. Man, we just did a tasting and it could not have been better.
So we came at the new menu with the approach of what do they already love? What do the guests already really appreciate? And what can we build upon?
Good news is Bad Beat Bacon's still good from the second time.
This is the best Bad Beat Bacon I think I've ever had.
I definitely think the Bad Beat Bacon was one of those items that kind of set the tone for where we wanted to take the direction of the menu and kind of some of the concepts.
And those eggs are just waiting to explode over there. The tater tots, all the stuff, you get all the stuff mixed with it, really good.
The chicken sandwich was killer. It's think about like, you know, fried chicken places, you think of Chick-fil-A, but I'd put our chicken up against any of those.
Because I'm just such a nerd for chicken sandwiches, and I love good coleslaw too.
So I haven't had, what is this? This is new. French toast steaks. Oh my gosh. Man. That's a little piece of the Bad Beat Bacon on top. This is the best dessert I've ever had. With French toast, you can overcook it, undercook it, but that's perfect. This stuff in Vegas would be like,
That'd be $80.
2 or 3 times the price.
It would literally be like $24.
Trailblazer SUV, the Trailblazer Points Championship is here. The more you play and the higher you rank in the Trailblazer Poker Tour, the better your chances are. The best tournament player in the Trailblazer Poker Tour drives away with this grand prize. For full details on the Trailblazer Poker Tour and the Points Championship, visit TexasCardHouse.com. To the year, the Poker Pro Bounty is here. Knock out one of these pros this Thursday through Saturday during the Trailblazer $1 million main event, and you get your membership and free time through December 31st. Wolfgang Poker on Thursday, Greg Raymer on Friday, Fireman Scott on Saturday. See TexasCardHouse.com for details.
Dude, heck yes. All right, we're back here. Hand number 18 underway. As we'll take a look here. Bronny with the queens. Going to 3-bet over, optimize it open there. But yeah, dude, oh my god, the food here is amazing. I'm telling you, it's absolutely off the charts. We do have a slightly reduced menu during the Trailblazer Tour that is going on right now, the Big Poker Series that is in full swing with the main event kicking off today and running through the weekend. But still, fantastic items on that menu. Definitely should come in and check it out if you haven't already been in.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
As Bronny here is going to take this down with a C-bet for the flop. And yeah, we've got those bounties that you saw there on the little video promo.
Don't tell me that.
Between
That's where my bankroll goes.
Don't tempt her.
Between Greg, Fireman Scott, and Wolfgang, you can get yourself
Team Poker Stars
free time for a year
in
cash games.
She was
here at TCH Social
had herself being
Austin.
massaged continuously.
If you knock them
all day
out
long for like almost 3
of the
days
main
of
event.
50K.
I mean, how cool is that? You're already there playing the main event, trying to get your piece of the $1 million guaranteed prize pool.
How are you out here, Mel?
Oh, excuse me, free time until the end of this year. Not for one full year from the state, but and for the remainder of the year.
I don't want to
I apologize for that confusion, but still, fantastic deals. You could get yourself, 2+ months of free time. I would basically just live here. I would just, you see that couch in the background? I would just poke up that spot right there, and you get a couple hours of shut eye, and then right back to the table. You know, max value. And I will be in there, trying to knock them out, trying to accumulate chips, trying to make day 2, starting tomorrow. If you knock me out, you may not get a bounty, but I'll give you a high five.
Not bad. I folded a worse
Ronnie here back to back. Takes this one down with a small blind. And yeah, how cool is it? Well, my producer has just authorized me to say that you will get free waffle fries if I am eliminated. So knock me out of the tournament, you'll get an order of waffle fries. All right. Free time for the rest of the year or some waffle fries. You be the judge of which one is more valuable. I don't know. But how cool is it that you accumulate points for not only just cashing tournaments throughout the Trailblazer Tour that is going to go around each of the TCH
Splash,
locations
I'll
here
take
in
it all
Texas. But you also get points for buying in. And the person that accumulates the most points over all of the series stops is going to get a free car. That's like 30K in value. That is absolutely incredible. Chevy Trailblazer to the overall points winner. There's also a 50K free roll that the top 50 point earners and like main event winners, whatever, are going to get an entry into. So there's some free value there as well. And yeah, you can check out all the information on TexasCardHouse.com. Go ahead and click the little banner at the top for the Trailblazer Tour, and you can find all that information down below. Optimized here with a pair of deuces has the best hand. Kevin barreling with the ace-8 after opening the cutoff, and is going to finish with just ace-high. Has the ace of clubs, though, so this is a pretty good run out for him to rep something. However, there's also a one-liner to a straight here. So if he's going to bet, he needs to bet big.
They believe there's a chance.
And Optimize will be in a pretty tricky spot with just a pair of deuces. But
I remember
anything can happen. $415 in the middle.
Alliance,
Kevin
visit politicians and lobby them, and we had a meeting with.
Is going to wager 500.
I'm blanking on his name now. I think Leach.
Good chunky size here.
We had a meeting with him, and you walk out of the meeting and you're thinking like, oh, we've convinced him online poker's a good thing. And he's the one that sponsored the UIGEA and got that through like less than
the thing
a
for
month after we
Optimize
met
is
with
that,
him.
yes, he only has a pair of twos.
So you come out of the meeting and he's like,
most of us would be like, wow, a pair of twos is like super bad here.
Really,
but it doesn't really matter if he has
was on your side.
a pair of tens or sixes, whatever, like any pair. Because Kevin either has like a straight or better,
anything except
and or nothing, right? Like he's not going to just like turn a 4 into a bluff there probably.
Yeah, oh, that's
He might.
That's really sucks. Ooh, are we able to watch the Suns game up here?
Yeah.
I will tip someone a lot of money for that.
Yeah, we can get the channel change.
Which game?
Phoenix Suns. I'm a diehard.
That's a junior channel.
Shut up, bro.
I don't know. I just didn't hear it very well, but I don't follow any of the sports.
Diehard Suns.
I'm sorry. 3 minutes.
Ronnie will be there soon, and you know, just like
wow.
6 fold, 7 fold, 8 fold,
Rocking in a roll there.
9 fold.
Doug and Wolfgang going to do battle here. Wolfgang just calling from the straddle though.
University of Michigan.
So this pot should have been a whole heck of a lot
my
bigger.
daughter went there. So I got the Michigan dad shirt, and
yeah.
Jack high
stuff,
flop,
'cause
check,
she's
check.
Like, oh, look, here's a shirt in his size on sale. Like I'll get it for him for Father's Day, or
What made her settle on Michigan, being from
Both
Raleigh?
players with strong ace highs. Let's see if Doug goes for a little bit of value
so
here.
her major was theater design.
He's happy
and
to just
production,
keep checking
and
down.
The drama department at Michigan
And
is like
now that the
number
top
2
card has paired,
in America.
there's a possibility
And
for both
my
players to
wife
get
was
just a tiny
very
little
much in favor of her
bit of
going there
value,
because
but
my wife grew
check,
up in the
check.
city
Doug
next
shows
door
down
to
the
Ann
ace king.
Arbor.
Takes the
Her
top.
father played for the Michigan football team back in the 50s or whatever. And through my wife's side of the family, our daughter was in the 6th generation to go to Michigan. So it was going to be really hard for her not to go to Michigan if she got in.
Wow.
Because,
Actually, we started in 2 seasons.
my wife would just be like,
wow.
Like if
Okay. All right, they're working.
if it was like, oh, you can go here, here, here,
It doesn't start
and
till
this
9.
other place is giving you a
It doesn't
free
start till
ride,
9.
my wife would still have been telling her to go to Michigan.
Yeah, it's all the history.
Have fun.
And she loved it there. She had a great time and enjoyed herself. But now she works for Disneyland in LA.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so now I have a bunch of Disney shirts because she'll do the same thing. Like
Disneyland Dad.
my favorite all-time animated Disney movie is The Incredibles.
That's a good one.
And so she got me the shirt one year where it's Mr. Incredible on the front, and then it says Incredible Dad.
That was cool.
Which didn't get her till the
So that's one of my favorites.
I like all that
And
stuff.
I got all
you're
these
doing
Mickey
with
Mouse
the
shirts
green
and
balls.
stuff.
days out here just because
Badass.
stupid
Really
fucking
fun
thing
for
they
me,
did.
and it actually grows the game.
Yeah,
It's a double whammy.
yeah. My cousin.
When we went to Disney World, I like the Incredibles too. And when we went to Disney World, we stayed at the Contemporary Resort, and the entire thing is Incredibles themed.
I used to work there.
I must have been back like in 04 when the movie came out.
No,
I'm
to
playing
this
in a
day.
few months.
To this,
with,
we did it last year.
Harvard hockey.
And they had that whole thing incredible.
Whole
thing.
thing's
Wow.
incredible. In the room, all the
Right here folds
rooms
the
have
suited
Incredibles
one
in
gapper
the
on the
wallpaper.
hijack.
I never.
You come out
Yeah.
too, it'll be fun.
And
Yeah,
that,
they've had
a lot
a
of players will
couple of,
open, but snug.
In February, you said?
Controlled fold there.
I not really sequels, but add-ons they've done over time. I guess like cartoons and stuff.
They've had the one sequel movie, but most of the
Wolfgang will do the raising.
they
in.
do lots of
Taking.
Disney does lots of like straight-to-video type things for a lot of their big films.
I mean, there's been enough of it that my kids, which I have 4 and the oldest is 11, they all know the Incredibles.
4 kids.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, they all know the Incredibles really well. It is. It is.
I love Disney. I used to be. I mean, I'm still obsessed with Disney. Kind of. Like my family, we'll spend Christmas at Disney instead of
they
buying
were
each other
running
gifts.
the same week as.
Well, okay, that is pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I said I'll come support you. I just didn't want to do it on such a high
So if
profile
you're
week.
taking your kids to Disney again, and if you're going to splurge on something, don't splurge on like the higher priced hotel. Splurge, you can get a private guided tour for the day.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's costly, but it's fantastic.
It's worth every penny. You'd be better off. This is what I tell my buddies trying to convince them to do that. You'd be better off just going once in your kid's entire childhood and doing it that way than 3 or 4 times doing it.
I could see both sides of that argument, but
we did everything.
I mean,
just a single day at each park.
Yeah,
it was so amazing.
What was the price for that since you did it recently?
It's $5K a day.
It's 5,000 now?
Yeah.
Jeez, it was only like 1,200 or something.
We're talking about
you get a
specifically
private
something
guided.
called a VIP tour. You can
You get a private guide from Disney to take you around the park all day.
And what really matters is you immediately get on every ride.
Yeah.
Like this.
Unlimited amount of people, like a family or something.
I think the max like 10 people.
Yeah, it's
but
like
If you have more, up to a certain number, and then you got to pay for 2 guides and so on.
I'm gonna do that one day.
You get like 10
4
for
players
one.
to a flop top set.
And so it's
for
like
Doug.
$800 an hour or $850 an hour, but it's a minimum of 8 hours. So
Right.
you end up spending, like 5K.
Checks through.
I wanted to do
damage
that so bad.
for the top set.
Yeah, I know
you
they do
can
it
do
in
it.
Cali.
I did it at Philly, but I think
Gutty,
you can do
and
it
that's
both.
Probably in Florida.
hand that can actually
I
stop the
wanted to do it
knife.
so I could get the
This
front of
one.
every line.
Oh, it's, yeah.
I always wanted to do that.
Overbet?
Not beat it.
Everyone
I mean,
folds.
years ago, like my daughter's maybe like 10. My brother has 4 kids, and they were like 8 to 3 years old. And we're with them for Christmas, and so we're telling them like, hey, we're all like, our gift to them was we're taking my parents, my brother, his family to Disney next summer. So of course they're thrilled with that. Little kids that age have never been. And we got the whole thing booked. And there's like one of the on-site hotels, they meant it to be a timeshare, but then that didn't work out or something, so now it was operating like a hotel, but you had like little condos, with a kitchen and multiple bedrooms, and so I've got a couple of those booked. And then it's a couple of weeks before we're gonna go, I get a phone call like, would you be available for an appearance on this date? And that was like 2 days after, we were done at Disney. So I'm like, yeah, I should be able to do that. Where is it? And they're like, it's in Orlando. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll be there. And I'm like, who's it for? Like, Disney. And I'm like, so like they have their annual shareholder meeting. And what it's really all about is like you're someone who works for like a brokerage house or whatever, an investment company. You're analyzing the movie industry for like which stocks in the movie industry should we buy on sell and hold and stuff. So they're doing presentations for you of like, here's our upcoming films, and she covers TV, and they're doing other presentations on the TV shows.
Will Lottie, table 26.
And so
Good luck
they
out
like
there.
are really
Thank you.
like giving you
Appreciate
guys
it, man.
great time. Like
I'll see you in the field for the
since
main
you work
event.
For Shearson Lehman, like we're putting you up for free and giving you food, and here's the presentations. And at night there's like free entertainment. And one night it was going to be 6 different things you could choose to do. One of them was playing a poker tournament that I would host. So I show up, and they're having like a dinner. Dancing with the Stars are on the stage, performing in this huge room where everyone's
Wow,
eating.
Kevin
And then it's like,
Folds.
then I walk down to this room, host a poker tournament.
pair of pieces?
And the prizes that like you could win, like I couldn't win any of them, but the prizes that you could win were like insane. Like I think first prize was something like an all expenses paid trip for 2 to their resort in Hawaii, including airfare. So it was like, you know, like 5 nights, airfare, free food, blah blah blah, at their big resort they have in Hawaii.
Gee whiz.
You know, so these are nice prizes. I was like, man, I want to win these.
Time for a bomb pot.
Doug, can you scan again?
Let's take a peek at
Thank you.
some boards here.
Sorry.
6 check.
I'm not seeing
King
the
high
button.
two-tone and jack high rainbow.
6 checks, 7 checks, 8 checks, 9 checks.
We've got some more dishes coming out. Ooh, it looks like Ash is going to get her hands on
I'm the
the
only player to
shrimp,
make the first final table
which is
of the
one of my
WSOP
favorite
bomb
items here. Of course, I did have to make that special because it's
I
not
didn't even
on
play
the
once I found that
Trailblazer
it was
menu
only
that
one
starts
bomb
at 2
pot per
o'clock.
orbit.
No,
Do
they
you have
did
to get it
too.
before that time?
Where they messed up was
Or
so it was
Be a poker
an Omaha
celebrity.
double board bomb pot and then 8 hands of Omaha, which was great. But then they did
Robert, yeah,
Golden
absolutely.
and
We're going to
Golden
get a lot of
double
great
board
stories
bomb
here, I
pot.
can imagine. So
And that was kind
doing my
of-
best to just kind of stay out of the way. As
there was
PokerFace
like no
Ash is
action
going to
on
go
that
ahead
one.
and
450.
pot it here with the turned flush and
Which is
still
funny
top
because I've seen
set.
people give action in a PLO bomb pot
450.
where like
Yeah, the
theoretically
steak
there's a
one
hold'em
with,
hand that's going to scoop them on both boards.
Could you bring me?
You know, like if the guy has these 2 cards, like he made the nut straight on this board and the top full on that board, and they're still calling.
Yeah.
Like you only need 2
Doug
cards.
folds his set of queens
And they're paying you off.
on top. It certainly looks like he's
it turned
about
out
to.
like they're offering me an appearance fee and expenses, and then I told them like I'm already going to be there, and they just said, "Oh, we'll just pay for the whole thing." And I'm like, "Sweet." And then all of a sudden, like I get a thing, and it's like, "Oh, we're gonna. What day would you like, and what park would you like to do this? Since you got your whole family there, we're going to give you one of these tours for the day."
Thank you.
So I'm like, never heard of it before, but I'm like, that's fantastic. Thank you.
You got that for free?
We got that for free for
Sick.
for a party of 11.
Wow.
Oh, well then, yeah.
Greg Raymer runs good, people.
And then
You know the joy of the VIP
I'm like,
tour.
so it's like after I'm off this phone call, I gotta like go to my wife and daughter, especially my daughter. Oh, do you guys mind if we have to stay in Disney World for like 2 more days?
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they were just mortified.
Yeah, they
That
just.
was a tough sell.
Yeah.
You had to really pull out your car salesman.
Uh-huh.
2 folds, 3 folds, 4 folds, 5 folds.
Did they put that Suns game on for you?
It's not even on yet.
It's not even on yet.
No.
She can't tip enough to get it on now.
Yeah. You have to pull a lot of strings for that one.
They'll just have some people in the back letting themselves be filmed, and they'll pantomime the game.
Heads up. Bad gut shot to
Just when I stepped away, I was throwing 10 back.
6 high straight here for Ash. Optimized flopping the pair of 4s.
One of my good friends that work.
And now he's got trip 4s.
Is that actor guy going to play in this game or no?
And checks back. All right. Oh, just in time for Ash to hit her top pair.
I don't know how much.
95 in the middle. She's going to go for $10 of value.
I thought he played more than he did. He's only played once in his life.
And this is going to work, quote unquote, perfectly for her as she is going to get raised to 100. But she actually didn't want
Now the other
to
thing
reduce the raise.
that's a lot harder to make happen.
She's had it.
If you
She
can
only
do it,
loses
there's a
$100,
thing
so
at
could be.
Disneyland called Club 33. It's a,
Oh, yeah,
it's
I've
a
always
private
wanted to do that.
members-only restaurant.
It's like super exclusive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to pay like a membership yearly or something.
You have to pay an annual membership fee that was. I mean, I went when I was a summer clerk for a law firm in Orange County. So we're talking a long time ago, and it was like $15,000 a year to be a member back then.
Yeah, do you want to go to a restaurant?
So this is in
Access to Club 33, the restaurant, which you still pay for each meal you use.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Where is it located? I assume in the park.
In
Yeah,
Disneyland, it is the same building as the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Okay. Yeah, so that's got to be an original building.
Everyone's thing up there.
Yeah, the backstory on it's pretty cool. It is when they were building the park originally, he didn't have enough money, and he was basically borrowing money from a bunch of companies.
Dude, and that's what is kind of
I don't know if it was really a loan, but it was like they were paying for exclusive rights. So like your Kodak, you've given him money now, he's building the park, and we will only sell Kodak film for the first 20 years or whatever.
You got some colorful characters in this room.
And there were 33 of these companies.
I show up, all I did was scan.
And at the time there was nothing, it was in the middle of nowhere, orange groves. And when these executives would come to check on the progress of the park, they didn't have anywhere to go eat lunch or dinner. So he built this restaurant.
Right, Doug, Mighty Doug, yeah.
95.
It was a great story.
Ultra rich people.
Wolfgang gonna bet the 8s now on the end for $40. These small bets.
Ashley, what day are you playing the main?
I don't think I'm gonna make it, sadly. Yeah.
40's just too good of a
Sadly.
deal. I have a 5. And you're a bastard.
Max value, baby. Ship it.
There we go.
In Austin, news regs.
Yeah, you got max value.
Go up to Dallas. I'll show you how to play up in Dallas.
Oh my God!
Come
Get out of here!
Come out to the fort. I'll show you.
Get out of here!
Where are you playing?
The only way you're going to get in is you're going to have to find a member who will invite you to be there as their guest.
I'm a part owner.
Oh, really?
It's a fun spot, yeah.
After you're a guest, you can
I used to play Las
apply
Colinas
to
a
be a
lot.
member or what?
The social.
I don't know how you become a
TCH Social
member,
Las Colinas
to be
is
honest.
exactly like this. Awesome
I don't know
action,
what
great
process
food.
you have to do to
The
be
fort
in.
is west of
Okay,
Fort
so
Worth.
your only hope,
We're
you're
known
saying,
for
is
our
to be a
But your only hope to get
That's
in,
what I heard. It's
realistically,
like
75% match.
maybe you could
Yeah, I heard it was
try
pretty
if you
good.
wanted
Like
to spend that
8K
kind of
pot,
money.
703.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty. I wouldn't think most people living this far from the park would want to do that.
No, you gotta be.
The Las Colinas I really like because you got so many 2-5 games all the time.
The
Yeah.
senior partner at this law firm was a member, was because
Yeah, Las Colinas is great.
basically,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
it was like a perk for all the other people in the law firm.
Is that where you're from, Dallas?
Chicago, but I live up in Dallas. Yeah.
It was like the first stream that
Texas has the
was here
best
was
poker.
I think so.
At least the U.S.
Yeah.
I haven't traveled enough, but probably the world, honestly.
Lawrence, yeah, Ken is not going to play on the live stream. We've got Wolfgang, PokerFace, Ash, Greg Raymer,
Would you say Dallas is the best
and
spot?
Fireman Scott here, as well as some local grinders from the Austin area. Ken is in the room, sort of
Cash, because you got so many
hanging out,
bigger stakes, like
meeting
2-5.
some of the local folks, and going to give us an interview as well. We'll be airing that a little bit later. Really look forward to that. But for now, we're hanging out,
Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and
playing some 5-10,
That's really good. Yeah.
and listening to some cool stories.
So have you been to Club 33?
So I interned a summer clerk for this law firm, and that was like something they did one day. It's like we went there for lunch and then got to spend the rest of the day in the park. So that was just like
We
one
don't
of
want
the
them to miss
perks,
anything good, I might say.
that they gave everyone who was a summer clerk. But if you were just the assistant,
But
you were one of the
the
secretaries,
NBA game was awesome.
you
Yeah,
would
thank you.
call the one
Absolutely,
guy's
man.
secretary
I'm
and
sorry,
say
I
you
shouldn't
want to
have said. I
use
just meant like it's gonna come on out.
membership for the Sunday
I'm a diehard
brunch
Ken
this
fan.
weekend, and
It's opening
she would
night.
cook it for you and give them your names.
Makes sense.
You just had to like pay whatever the fee was. Like maybe back then it was only maybe $30 per person for the brunch, but that also got you in the
You can do
park.
whatever you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so I can do wide
So
angle.
if
I
you were
control all
just
the faces.
whatever, you were the
video
guy
is
in the
too better,
mailroom,
so-
you could do
Is that why you had
that.
everyone moving
Take your family.
their seats today?
have this amazing meal.
I saw that guy
Yeah.
move.
You
I
know.
was like,
No,
oh
they
my
set
God.
me up in
And if you
C5.
wanted
Yeah,
to go
that's
spend the day in the
C5.
park
It's like I need to be
anyway,
on the
and
edges
it's
because you need
basically
Oh,
you're
to be
paying
Wolfgang.
almost nothing for the food at that point.
Ted, yeah, he's going to talk
No, it was
with
just
our CEO.
They have Club
CEO
33.
of Texas
Yeah,
Card
I
House.
personally don't like
At
vlogging
either
from
all or
C5.
most
I
of the
prefer
sit down.
It
video.
makes sense from a conversation standpoint.
Yeah.
I just don't know
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Our
Like when I
fearless
used to watch
leader,
like Brad's
Ryan
vlogs,
Crow.
I knew
Definitely
he
have
would
it at
always
more than
sit
just
by
Disneyland now.
The
He
deal,
likes
so
to
he-
show the port,
Interesting.
like graphics.
And if you
That's
and if
one
you
thing I've
became-
never heard of.
If you became a member, you would be able to access all of them around the world.
Okay.
So you could go to like
Are you
Disney
thinking
Hong
about
Kong or whatever.
Are you thinking about Club 33 membership?
Where do you live
Wolfgang.
Well, not
Bringing some
anymore.
sass
I'm thinking
here.
about this disrespectful
Sass
ass.
and optimized.
Yeah, wait for this 4-bet, dude.
Yeah, I mean they wanted me to play
He's
this
randomizing
green
right now.
game and
He lands on
you know,
fold.
the
Yeah.
meetup games
Yeah,
and stuff.
randomized.
Taking Austin's money.
I've been here since Saturday though.
They put me in the seat.
They were like, and we'd be happy for you to play the
I want to take a
tournament.
video.
Heads up we go, 2
I
o'clock.
saw the single draw.
And another dusty one, 8 high. Nothing there for
Shit, I'm
optimized.
coming here. Like,
we'll
if
try
I
to do
hadn't
a quick
seen that on the
thank
schedule,
you.
I would have flown in
It's for the
here
vlog. Yeah.
to be here for this. But I saw that and I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, you just don't get to play that game.
Check,
How'd you do
check.
on it?
10
Real
now
good.
on the turn here for optimized top pair.
But, you know, it's still such a good game. It's a good cash game. It's a good tournament game.
Yeah.
It is all about reading the other player. 'Cause there's so
Wolfgang
many
now
of the
behind makes the call.
decisions
Oh,
are
man.
just like,
Ma'am.
let's say I
Hard.
stood pat and you drew one,
No
and now you're
improvement
betting
here
into me.
on the
It's
river.
like, frequently I will
Forgot
have
535 in
a
the
hand
middle. We'll see if optimized
that
gets.
beats all of your bluffs. I mean, I'll always have a hand that beats all your bluffs.
Nice.
But I'll also have a hand
Yeah,
that
wow.
probably doesn't
Another
beat
small
any
bet
of your
here.
value bets.
Targeting
So I'm just
exactly ace
bluffing.
high.
And so that's just the whole decision. Is just, do I think you're bluffing?
Pretty average.
If I can't read you, then I'm just like, well,
Think about your average.
from what I've seen, does he bluff too much or not enough?
Sorry.
So,
Couldn't
yeah.
hear you through the mask,
Or,
Kevin.
but, you know, it's like if we were playing online, that would be your only metric.
Spades miss. What do we got?
You know, does this guy
Any
seem to
pair.
bluff after the draw too much or not bluff?
You're
as
such a
much
good
as he
guy, right? So like I should call because you're a
But
good guy.
live now, it's all about like even if you're
He's
bluffing,
not
a good guy.
6-7 gets there. That's kind of something.
You know, but if I can read your tells,
Yeah.
Such a small bet.
you know, it doesn't matter that you're only bluffing every time you're supposed to and no
I have a
more.
spade. I don't have a spade.
Maybe I can tell the
I have a
difference
10.
with the body language. So it's a great game.
Thank you.
Take it.
Wow. What a payoff.
What a
man.
payoff.
That
What a
was.
See, I only got you for 40.
That was,
You got me for 125.
Wow.
Only when they're thanking.
How do you like North Carolina?
There's a Moscow mule there for Wolfgang to keep
Five
him
and
in
move there,
high spirits.
and it's been a great place to live.
Love to see
You
it.
know, we really like it there. Our daughter loved it there growing up.
Let's look at some V-pips here.
And
Wolfgang,
we moved there in
38%.
05. If I wanted to, my
Greg
wife
holding
wanted better weather.
bottom end of the spectrum here, 13%.
And if you wanted better weather and like,
Below the Lottie
you
line.
know, like big
Doug
poker
here at
games
25%.
every day, Vegas and LA were the only options. And she didn't want to live either of those places, and neither of us wanted to raise our daughter in those places. And so
What's
we
been your
just
favorite
ignored
place to
poker.
play?
In Raleigh, it's a great place to live. It's not a place I would say you're going to want to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this isn't a place with, you know, theme parks and nightclubs and
Yeah.
the kind of things people do on vacation.
Awesome. They have a match of stack game.
You know, if you're a big golfer, you might fly
Your
into
10's here for
Raleigh,
Kevin.
but then you're going to go
Best.
south to Pinehurst area for like
Probably not, but maybe
all
now
those great golf courses.
That wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful place to
Going to
live.
continue though for
Friends
2/3.
that went to the last
If you don't need to work, or if you can work your job there,
My bedroom.
then it's a good place to go.
It's unbelievable.
So what do
I really like.
what do you do for poker when you're home? Do you just don't play that
I
often?
play in some home games. You know, we got
characters on the
yeah,
wall.
plenty of home games available. I mean, the rake is fairly
Looks like
high.
another 10 here on the
Like
turn.
the bigger PLO games,
More
the rake is
improvement for
$25
Kevin.
a hand.
Definitely a spot he can lead, not just because he made trips, but because it's just a good part for him and
One guy
not
has a
for
place where
Ash.
he has like
Okay, you
room
like
for like
check?
She
six
does
poker
check,
games.
she checks back, and now she'll be playing 10s and 5s.
Like a multi-day
Kevin here, of
series.
course, with
Like 5 days,
full.
$400 value tournaments, and then
We'll see what size he decides to go for.
first prize is
Nice spot to go big if he's going to.
TCH Dallas.
But I just do that
One
stuff.
would presume.
And then when I got nothing else really to do,
Indeed. Overbet is there for 210.
I didn't go there even knowing the games existed. Like I knew in theory everywhere has home games. Vegas has home games.
I'm surprised to be here.
How did that work out? Like when you were younger?
I'm not surprised.
Now Ash has a decision here.
Travel for poker every now and then.
Her bluff catcher.
Well, when I first moved there, I was still representing PokerStars, so they had me on the road like half a year. And then my wife,
Kevin just called from the big blind.
it was obvious how much I was going to be gone.
She's going to have
They said to me while we were in Connecticut, she's like,
some
look, we
unique
just
combination.
didn't get anywhere near an airport and I'm better weather. And so we looked at things like Vegas and LA.
Deuce makes sense. 10 makes sense. Then some sort of
Like, well, let's just forget about poker.
missed gut shots,
Oh, okay.
You know, we picked Raleigh.
things of that nature.
I mean, mostly her.
Ash doesn't love it though.
Camp person. She used to
But for that large size, she's like, no, you get to just bluff me out too often.
Second 2 votes in your
Big size.
And I was like, that's an argument I can respect.
So I called.
She's there all the time, yeah.
And I'm happy with it. I like living in Raleigh. Good place.
What y'all talk about? Y'all talk about Texas.
The funny thing is, our daughters.
Yeah, Lawrence, he's a really friendly guy. And yeah, absolutely, still does the fossil thing. I imagine that if you eliminate him from the tournament, get his bounty for the free time for the rest of the year at TCH Social here in Austin, I imagine he's going to give you a fossil.
Reasons we wouldn't want her to grow up there aren't, a concern anymore.
Still get in on that action. Let's see here. We've got
just able to exploit based on
Bolts to Kevin on the button. Wow, Doug doesn't even open Jack 7 suited from the cutoff.
Yeah.
Kevin will open the small blind. Oh, that was the button even. Kevin's in the small blind, so King 9 versus Jack Deuce. And wow, pairs abound. Top and bottom for Kevin.
This has been such an amazing thing for Texas. I don't want it to go away anytime soon. It's finally getting a lot of attention now. You know what I mean? I feel like it was kind of under the radar.
Yeah, we need to get this pot
Last couple of years, it ain't
big, but Bronny here, middle pair, just lets it go immedially.
Maybe it'll happen, huh? We'll see what happens.
Still here?
All right, Eric Van Loosen, if you're still out there, check your points again. Let's get you up to 10 so you can gamble. I don't even remember if I won or lost. What happened to my gamble?
Apparently he's almost early.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing, right? Or bad?
On average, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled a 60 and I won. Yeah.
If anybody else would like a drink, I have started drinking.
We're going to be on our edge.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're the last one at the table.
That is the sound of a man in a
I'm already
statement.
4 IPAs in.
Buddy, it would be round 3, but I'm ready for round 3.
I'm going to let you bully me.
So you just, you order it and I'll drink it. How's that?
What are you drinking?
Thank you.
Judging by the cup, a Moscow Mule.
The vodka, right?
Vodka and ginger beer.
I don't even know because my daughter likes those.
They're good?
I'm allergic to alcohol, so I won't be joining you no matter what.
That's what they like in the duels or something.
Yeah, I guess the benefit
No, I'm just
to
plus
Texas
beer.
poker is that like most solvers aren't.
Alcohol also tastes horrible, in my opinion.
Boo.
So even
When was the last time you had a sip?
when I
It tastes better now.
if I take a sip, I feel nauseous. If I drink a mouthful, I throw up.
Well, that's because you're allergic.
Yeah.
Not because of the taste.
But it, I mean, like when if I end up eating something like at a restaurant and I can tell it's been like cooked with alcohol and I don't like the flavor.
But I really.
That makes sense, yeah.
I mean, if you cooked it with vodka, I presumably shouldn't taste it because vodka is supposed to be flavorless.
Uh-oh, grammar police here, Wesley.
How often does anyone cook with vodka?
Check your spelling.
Very rarely. Whereas, when they do stuff with beer and wine, I just think the stuff tastes.
Mighty Duck shouting out PokerFace Ash and her content channel. Yeah, absolutely.
Because they like to enjoy wine, beer, whatever.
Yeah, Wolfgang, Ash, putting out top quality content. You can also catch Fireman Scott on Instagram.
It's not that you look
Perhaps
old,
other
but you
places,
look
that's
older
where I
than
see
21.
his content.
How old is it?
Not sure if Greg is on the social media content creating streets
I'm
at
not very
all,
good at
but
that.
Probably see him out there somewhere too.
when I see
Jack High
someone
two-tone board.
20 years
Poker
old,
face
they
Ash
look like a baby to
outflops
me.
Doug. Check to a turn 9 of clubs. 190 in the middle. Poker face Ash going to take a stab here for a little over half pot.
Except for the guys on
And
the football
Doug is done with it.
They all look like they're 35.
They've been chugging gallons of milk every day.
I remember when I was little thinking professional football players look like tough, grizzled men, you know, like now they look like kids to me.
Well, it's like we had a bunch of guys in my fraternity who were on the football team, and all of them were like lineman type positions. You know, we didn't have quarterback, running back, wide receiver guys.
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, like, you'd see him in the morning in the bathroom and he's shaving, and you'd see him at 4 p.m. and, you know, he had more beard than I could grow in a week. I mean, these guys did not look like 19-year-olds and stuff at all. They didn't look old or anything, but they did not look like kids.
All right, early position open from Doug with the black ducks. Greg with the fossil covering his cards, going to just call. That's going to get a squeeze here from Ash on the button with Kirk Jacks.
Well,
the on tilt boys here going to be in the tournament tomorrow. Heck yeah. Love to hear that. I will be in the field as well, so I'll see you in there. Doug makes the call. Greg flat calls and then folds the ace queen. Jack still best after the flop.
Wow. I just did that entire bathroom visit with this on, so.
75.
I've been doing this for
Doug
years.
is
So much fun with me on the live
instantly done.
And not because that
the
flop
deuces.
Oh.
They're just gonna like enjoy teasing me right now.
Well,
I'm
not gonna get over my
I just
fucking
did that
hero
entire
call.
bathroom visit with this mic on.
I did that
Some
earlier.
quick accounting here. Greg up 1,000.
I don't think there was. I don't think there was.
Wolfgang up
always
600. Fireman Scott up a little, as is Kevin. Everyone else stuck a little down to a lot. Doug stuck
This is
1,100 already.
the first stream they've ever had mics, so
Oh.
it's a stretch to
I
think.
used to do audio engineering, so I was the person to be muting stuff. So,
Was that a joke referring to the urine stream? Is that what you? This is the first stream that you've been mic'd?
No play on words.
No.
Literal. There, it is the first stream.
I mean, it's a lot funnier.
Are they?
if
What
you-
are they telling you back there? Okay, good. No, nothing was heard. All I know is
It would have been a lot funnier if you'd meant it as the urine
I
stream.
love my job. I just met Easy E. When I was in the army, I was at the mic. So he's one of the dealers that he just met.
oh, easy.
That was kind of
I guess that's who he played in the movie.
Oh,
MOS is they combined 12 boxes and 12 Charlies.
I have an Easy E t-shirt
Basically different
actually.
engineers.
I used to wear it all the
Few
time.
Army guys stationed in Germany with me. They came back here, they moved to a dripping screen.
Tia cheering on her, man. Let's go, Fireman Scott. Yeah, absolutely. He is waiting to get some traction here so far. Mostly just staying out of the way.
Last weekend. I don't know why it hasn't come back yet, but
I'm guessing one is a wide shot and one is a zoomed in shot. If I had to guess.
Click that if you want to see me.
I mean, if they were using that, like, okay, we can zoom with one of them to zoom in on one of us. You'd think they'd have two over here to zoom in on this.
Now I'm very curious.
Well, you know what?
It doesn't matter at all. I'm just curious.
Wolfgang doing a little
Curious
update
about
here.
everything. I do not understand people who have no curiosity.
Oh, curiosity keeps us alive as a species.
It also
Kevin,
It also kills.
have both of those cameras right there been there?
I don't think so.
I think they just added one to add new information to this discussion. I think one of those might be in testing or something. What's the deal with the two? Yeah? Well, what about that? Oh.
I knew it. Wide angle, close.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of big hands clash earlier on, but as of late we have definitely had a little bit of the card distribution slowing things down. And
okay.
we are
Yeah,
going
you don't
to
have
have
to
a potential
Out of
clash
curiosity,
here.
why
Both players
wouldn't they
flopping
put
a
the second
flush
camera
draw.
up here then?
It's also a straight draw for Kevin.
Who knows?
And small bet, small card on the end, not going to improve either player. The king high for Kevin.
The only
will
live
be
stream I'll
bet.
watch in its entirety now all year.
running back.
Because I want to see how bad I played.
$360.
Did I make any good plays by mistake?
So 2360, 51020. We got Greg Raymer, WSOP main event champ. We got
One time, baby.
Kevin here, check folds to the 5 high.
Yeah, like I thought I was value betting. And I got some
Kevin's like, oh, come on, give us some diamonds one time.
Something like that. Like I'll see the hand and I'll be like, oh shit, I was value betting.
Well,
he's seen some of the videos, so pretty
if you're talking about good plays by mistake, you might be out leveling yourself in Texas Poker.
Yo, am I gonna win in this game or what? Yo, he's taking it off.
We're just a bunch of
5 drinks in already.
we're just a bunch of clowns down
good.
there.
Sometimes, you know, like I'm really surprised by what I see
Wolfgang
later.
getting photo bombed on his update back there.
Are we getting better down here?
Maybe we are.
I mean, several years ago, I'm the featured table on day 2 of the main event, mostly because I got Jason Alexander from Seinfeld next to me. And I wasn't watching the episode when it
Doug
first
here,
aired
his turn with the birds.
on
This is
ESPN.
right in Doug's wheelhouse.
But man, my
Big
phone
portion
blew
of
up.
his opening range
And everyone's
or
like, how'd
his
you
free
get that guy
betting
to
range
full
is going to be
hand? I'm like, what are you
aces.
talking about? So
Fireman
there's
Scott makes the
multiple
call.
hands throughout the day
Unfortunately
where,
for
like,
him,
I've
it's top
opened
pair
range, and Jason is
of
flat,
jacks.
and
There
the
is no
guy
king
2
on that
seats
board. We'll
over
get
has
the
now
board
re-raised.
updated. There we go.
Every time I've been at like the
And
bottom of my range for opening.
Fireman Scott going to check
And I
raise
fold it
here with
every
the top
time.
pair.
Now I raise jacks and
Bad
he calls,
kicker.
and this guy raises.
And there is
And
the
now I
call.
make
That
a
is
slightly larger
not
than
really what
normal
he
4-bet.
wanted. When you check
Because
raise
I
here,
don't wanna, like,
usually
go
with the
all in
intention of
'cause
getting your
Jason
opponent
has me
to fold.
covered. So
But
he like has a monster hand. I don't
now
want
with
to
the
go broke.
queen of clubs coming off, you would
And
imagine.
I want to
that
make it
this
big
is the
enough, so
spot.
I'm basically telling that guy who's
He'd
the
like
shorter
to
of
keep
the
this
3
pot
stacks.
under
You're
control,
either gonna
but
fold
Fireman
now or
Scott
get it.
disagrees.
Like you don't have any, you
He
can't
is
5 bet
going
and
to
get me to lay it
continue
down.
barreling, leaving
Like,
himself
I'm too far committed.
only 700
And you
behind.
can't-
If
there's
Doug
no hand where it
calls
would make
here,
any
he's
sense
not
for
going
you
to
to
have
just
a
call.
credible river jam size
Jason
remaining.
Tanked a little
Doug
fold,
does,
and
of
that
course,
guy
make
tanked
the
a little,
call
and he
here.
folded.
It's another diamond.
And I said good fold.
Both players
You know,
with
I
a
didn't show my
diamond.
cards, but I said good
Fireman
fold.
Scott
He's
does
like, how do
have
you
the
know it's a good
10
fold?
of diamonds, sort
I'm
of
like,
the
well, it's
key
not like
card
you
here,
fold
but
aces
he is
and
not
kings.
going to continue with his
And then
aggressive
on the
line.
show, he folded kings.
Shut your
Slows down with a
And I'm
check,
just
and
like,
now Doug here is going to size up
never in
the
a
stack.
minute did I think he could
And
have
he
kings
is
there
going
when he
to
folded.
check back the aces, shows
So
down,
it's like, I
and
mean, I was
wins.
value raising.
Figures he
I
can't
wasn't
get
trying to
called
fall
by
for it.
worse.
Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
having the ace of diamonds
decided I had
is
to have
good
aces.
for you,
Like,
but
I
yeah, I
folded every
mean,
other time. I must have aces
Jack,
this time.
Queen, King just rolls off like, what?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know if he
Also
put me on
weird,
aces
though,
or
that
if he just
Fireman
didn't
Scott
want to, like,
checks
risk.
after check raise flop,
Like he
bet,
doesn't want to get it
or-
in. Like, oh,
right,
I have
like
an ace, I'll have 30%
what just
equity.
sort of slows down there,
doesn't
some
wanna
sort
risk
of
that.
really
I don't know
bad,
what he was thinking at all,
disconnected 2-pair.
He's either really
Maybe.
bad or he just.
I mean, if
Had
he was
you
reading
labeled
me,
as
I
extremely
was
tight.
confident I had the best hand. So I mean, if you were like, oh, Greg's body language is confident, but I was confident with jacks because he had. It just seemed like he decided I'm going to squeeze every time it's raise call. I'm going to squeeze.
Right,
Is what it felt like.
Remember that time you incorrectly folded kings to me, Kevin? But that still scars you.
Remember that time 27 months ago when you misread your hand?
Bringing up
Your counterfeit?
some old scars
We're not
here.
going to relive that one, okay?
It's obstinate.
It was really embarrassing.
I'll never
for you.
forget.
We have mics now. I don't want to. I don't want to
Care for
embarrass you on the
Doug.
stream.
What about that time you got scooped in the huge double
Or
board?
just call in position rather. Now he's got
Happened. Yeah, you
No,
had.
rips.
not last week. The week
You won one of 2 boards, and the one you won was a 1-outer.
The week before.
Same.
LSU. Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's a blackout game too, so that'll be fun. I went to SC Bama. This game was like the game, but I didn't
happen
know
again.
if it was going to be a close game or not. I thought like one team was going to blow
lucky
the
you
other
didn't
out.
get scooped
The other
on
one,
that
like, I
aces
was on the
hand.
field, like,
Man, I feel bad
I didn't know
for you.
like
dog.
James should have got
I thought it would be
scooped.
a sick matchup. Plus they hate each other. Like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? That's good design of the place to,
So
to
Doug
have
no
the
longer
mics auto
in last
mute at
place
the
there.
bathroom.
Only stuck 330.
You
so I
would
went
not
to
be
Oregon,
even
Ohio
the
State the
100th
weekend
player
before.
No, definitely
to
not.
like leave the room and they're still recording the audio.
Have you ever done that in all the
It was a
streams?
really fun game.
Really?
Some private game in Seattle. They called the Wolfgang.
I have.
I got to get back out there and film a vlog there. I don't know. They're all fun. I was Sigma Chi at Pepperdine.
It has happened many, many times to people.
Which one?
Oh, another premium for Doug. Another small pot though.
Yeah.
Alright, so what was your name again?
Blake.
Oh shit, I should have just said it. I knew it. Fireman Scott. I don't know his name. What was your name?
Kevin.
Kevin. Congrats on getting max value for your 10, sir. Nice hand. What was your name?
Doug.
Doug.
Yeah.
Okay. You look familiar.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen you in like other
Do
places.
you play tournaments? Or?
No, just
oh, I
cash.
play tournaments. Okay. What's up? What was your name?
Brawny.
Bronny?
Brawny.
I can remember that.
Yeah,
For the
Fireman Scott
NBA.
would be more in his element, I think. If we
Ronnie
were playing a
Jr.
4-card game.
Brawny Jr.
But you're not the junior. You're not. You're just Bron.
He's under height NBA Bron.
He'll be in his tournament element.
I mean, not that you're under height, but for the
Starting
NBA,
tomorrow as
you
well.
are under height.
Ronnie Cycle.
Greg here gonna call on the button, suited ace.
Ron Harper.
Kevin's open. Optimize in there as well. 3 players to a flop.
I think I got everyone's name.
And what a flop it is for Optimize.
Ooh, that looks good.
Greg here flopping a flush draw.
You mostly play
A
tournaments?
paired board. Kevin
I
here
play
has
mostly
bricks
tournaments,
hard,
yeah.
but ace queen.
Not a cash
Actually,
play.
just not a bad
tough?
hand
Huh?
on king,
Is
king,
that tough
deuce.
playing mostly tournaments? Or?
So he'll continue,
Yeah.
see if he can
Because to
just
me it
sort of
seems like
clear
every
the
time I go to
field.
tournaments, it's like,
It's very high variance.
But that is not going to happen. It gets
It's very
called in both
painful a
spots,
lot of the
and
time.
all 3 players will see the 6 of hearts roll off
But I
on
love
the
them,
turn.
so.
yeah.
I
Greg
love
with
pain.
the ace high
That's why.
flush.
I love
Checks
hurt.
to him.
It's just like you'll get like, you'll have a 10, 20 day good run on cash, and then you go play tournaments. It's like you keep getting beat by these people that can't even play.
Oh, yeah,
it's like over and over and over. It's like, what am I doing wrong? That's just kind of how I feel.
Yep.
Maybe I haven't played long enough to like the tournament.
Optimized check calls, another
I do
heart
enjoy it.
rolls off, and if he wasn't behind on the turn, he could certainly be on the river in his mind.
So you're playing the main
But
and
top
guess too?
trips with the
Maybe.
queen
Probably
kicking.
not.
Pretty
Good
tough.
guard, you
What's
win.
your favorite kind of tournament to play?
Hand to fold, but he does find the fold very quickly. Greg shows the 9 to control a little.
Yeah, change. I'm sorry. I wasn't loud enough. My mistake.
It's hard to hear with this big mic.
I'm gonna try. My mom's in the hospital, so if she's all right, I might make it back out. I didn't even know that this was going on. To be honest, all I knew was about this day. I didn't know the tournament. Well, yeah. Now I'm like, oh crap.
I mean,
I want to come back.
when I was playing in one of the events a few days ago, like players, they were like locals. And they were like, they think the main event's going to overlay even more. Like every tournament almost has been an overlay.
Yeah.
They think the main event's going to overlay even more.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
That is
They're
a
just
very...
like, oh, there's a big difference in the local market. A lot of people who would play in the 400, but not an 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of competition around the state for big tournaments these days.
The
and so,
$400 event, I think they ended up having
big
to put in
ambitious
like
tournament series here kicking off.
80,000?
TCH Social in
500
Austin
or something like
have
that.
been overlaying some of the
But
events.
some of these guys at the
and
table were like,
that
oh,
means
we
more
think
value for the players, so come on down and get
the
it.
main event will be even more.
Join me in the field tomorrow, even tonight. I think, the 5 p.m. flight here this evening, still open registration for another hour and a
Since I'll
half.
be playing in it, for my sake.
Get your butt over here and jump in the mix. Starting flights 2 a day, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday to get your chance, or to get your ticket rather, into day 2 on Sunday. Playing down to a final table that will be live streamed on Monday, playing for their share of the $1 million guaranteed prize pool. If it's overlaid, well, guess what?
That used to be my go-to for
More
so
value to the
I love
players,
ginger beer.
and a lot of money going to be guaranteed up top for the winner of that one. So fantastic value
same.
for everybody here in Texas. All right, double board bomb pot time. We get some cards scanned in. Wolfgang here, first act. He's got absolutely nothing.
Spot.
5 bets 200.
Ronnie flopping top boat on the bottom board. Does also have a pair of threes working on top, so he's going to pot it. Ash is in there. She's got a king as well.
Not real good at PLO.
As the
The worst thing about
Jack
the double
comes
board
off on the
bomb
turn.
pots
That
is
is
you get a hand that
one
is
of
like
the overcards to the
fantastic
board
PLO
that
starting
does
hand.
not give her
And then you just whiff both
bigger
boards.
boat, but she's working with
You're like,
top
I got
two
double
pair
suited
on the
aces
top
in it.
board, so she
Like
does
king,
have
king,
that
nine,
one
queen, queen, three, and you're just like, shit.
pretty well locked up. A 3 would do the work for Brawny, but there are no 3s remaining in the deck. Does go check, check, though.
PokerFace Ash. Check her
Not,
out.
And
not my game.
predictably, no improvement on the top board for Brawny, but PokerFace Ash also does not improve. So it's going to be a chop pot if we get to showdown. And can't imagine Brawny folding. And in fact, he is going to go ahead and pot it for 600. And yeah, Ash can't fold this hand. It is simply too strong. She rivers Broadway on top, and the Trip Kings.
You could have folded up.
Bottom, but chop it up. Atypical blackjack doesn't like the 4-card game. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We love our bomb pots here at TCH Social in Austin, and pretty much everywhere in the state, people are playing it. So, you know what? It might behoove you to get a little bit of experience with the 4-card game, and you just might love it.
Yeah, like you got the straight.
It's a great game.
Like,
I mean, I
You
knew
can make a lot of money real quick. You can also torch a lot of money real quick, but you just, you learn how to play them bomb pots cautiously.
What are you waiting for?
And
you know, you always think you're behind.
it's a lot of fun.
There's some extremely like strong action here in Texas.
It's the best in the U.S.
That is true. $10. I felt a lot better betting on the river once another jack hit the top, because I was like, because you actually had a king with all the bigger cards.
Yeah,
So I could easily got through there.
Yeah, I was hoping for any of my cards to
Yeah,
hit
like
on the bottom. I had a lot.
All right, I'm gonna give you some action.
Raises from the small blind after Brawny just limped the low jack, and it's going to be a limp and call, so heads up you go. Wolfgang flops back. BMW asking, can I provide bomb pot lessons? No, I cannot. I will provide them as a courtesy at the table if you play against me, and you can do your best to try to keep up with what I'm doing. But I will not give away my secrets. Honestly, it's like, so it's a complicated game, of course, but once you realize like how cautiously you should be playing them, and you just sort of start dodging a lot of the damage that some of the less experienced or more ambitious players, however you want to say that, are suffering regularly, you can do quite well in bomb pots. But yeah, there are a few things that you have to learn how to do that are a little bit uncomfortable, because most of the time you're not doing it when it comes to the 2-card game. Things like folding sets, folding straights.
So towards the end, you would be on a mission to lose it.
That is not something you will ever do in Hold'em. But folding the nuts in a double board PLO bomb pot is definitely something that has to be part of your repertoire.
I always say that I'm giving away. It's mostly a joke. Now I'm actually giving away.
Jedi Master Ted, if you don't flop the nuts, don't play. I would not agree with that either. It is much more complicated than that. Flopping the nuts can almost be one-way ticket to Dumpsterville as well. A little bit of continued aggression here. Optimize takes some time.
5-10 no limit.
I mean, if you flop top boat, or you flop quads, or straight flush or something, like obviously your hand is good enough to just barrel across multiple streets and not be too concerned. But yeah, how many times have people that are familiar with the game flopped it straight and have that still be the best hand
I don't remember.
by the time the river comes around? not too often.
I can't remember if I played with him in Oceanside, California,
Does happen sometimes.
or Foxwoods.
Certainly, if you just go bomb, 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 and build this huge pot, and the texture changes on your board.
Okay.
You probably don't have the best hand.
Never turn on
That's why you're buying that. Do you want anything?
Fireman Scott not going to go for it. 7-deuce game not in effect, so it doesn't have any incentive to try to pump these players.
If we go to a steakhouse, it's
No,
on him.
truthfully,
We
it
got
is.
mud pizza.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the go-to tea? I'm a big tea guy myself.
Oh, I love tea. Go-to?
I missed this here from Tia in the chat. You guys are going to Choctaw for the main.
I like Earl Grey.
Here early next month. Very good. I'm not sure if I'm going to go or not yet. I have a lot of stuff going on here in the next couple of months as far
I
as
haven't been there.
travel for poker and family events, but I'll see. Maybe I'll be up there. I missed the last Choctaw event, and I usually like to go to Choctaw.
My daughter was looking at schools.
Maybe it is time.
She loves tea.
To make it back up there. The first one was so soon after WSOP, and I was just sort of burned out.
Like the
Plus, I
table
didn't
was
run
like
well
a glass
out there in
little
Vegas, so
table, and then it's got like
anytime you come back from
old
Vegas and you
tchotchke
didn't run
things,
well,
Alice in
you
Wonderland
just kind of
stuff.
sat.
Like here's some
Both
old
energy
little
and
toy
thankful.
from 80 years ago.
That sounds like it'd be my style of place.
And then we're getting the high tea with
He's not.
you know, the little stands of, you know, crumpets
Yeah.
and sandwiches.
At some point.
So it's like an actual tea
Doug
house.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
We're bringing
Awesome.
And you're
the
like, you know, there's like a menu of
King High
teas to
Flush.
pick from. and-
Wolfgang
I would be in
has
heaven
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, like I'd driven her there cause she wanted to go to college there because she wants to work on Broadway.
He looks at his red cards once more, and it's
She
like,
wanted to go to college
they're all
there,
red.
and so she's looking at several
Not the right shape.
places, and I drove her up to do that.
Nice.
It's like,
Yeah,
let's take her to
I'll
the tea place, and she loved
On
it.
Saturday, if you knock me out, you
Release
get
his
free time
bluff
for the
that got
I'm
raised.
gonna play both
Atypical
sides.
Blackjack. This poker room is so fancy. You are absolutely right, man. Everything from the decor to the food to the staff to just the sign on the front of the building.
Yeah.
Man,
Thank you
this is
so much.
just
Appreciate it.
an amazing poker
I'm
room.
not 100% on the name, but there's definitely Alice
Oh, I
in the
love that.
name.
What are you doing
so
at College Station? Poker?
Look it up when you go there.
Oh, okay.
LSU. And then I'll play poker twice. My buddy has a card room there, and then probably one of the frat houses or something.
Is that a good card house there? I heard about that, the one they have there.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
nothing like this, but it's a safe place to play poker. No rake, it's like the same thing.
Which one?
I figured they would.
Jokers and Aguilan.
I figured like they would have a good lineup from all the college kids, right? Like,
Yeah, it's mostly college kids.
6 of spades.
Yeah, they just actually reached out to me a few weeks ago about maybe doing one of my seminars there.
Wow, Bronny gets a walk with the
told him I
9
would
high.
look
Let's go.
I wish I could book seminars like 2 or 3 times a month, but
Mostly 1-2, I assume.
most poker players now, like if we look at everyone here, all the regulars, like the top 5% appreciate the idea that I should invest time and money in improving my game. But those are the players generally that are already like the best in the room. And then the other 95% who would really get their money's worth from a seminar,
They don't want
they're like,
to.
no, I already know everything.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's very true.
I mean, I've had so many of them. I shouldn't be here. I know everything about no money.
That's crazy.
It's an ego thing.
I literally had 3 guys at different occasions who said to me, I'm as good as Phil Ivey, he just runs better.
Oh.
And you're just like,
Okay.
and the one guy followed it up with, because if my luck would just break even for 1 month, and he's like, and I don't mean run good, I mean if it was just average luck for 1 month, I would win a ton of money and I'd be playing the big games with you guys. And I asked him, how long have you been playing? And he said 10 years. I
Diamond.
bit my tongue so hard, I wanted to ask him the follow-up question.
Missed.
It's like, you think you've lost
Queen's
120
good.
straight coin flips and had below average luck every month for 120 months?
Yeah, no.
Like, that's what you're telling me. But I stopped myself. It's one of the greatest acts of willpower in my life.
I agree, Blackjack.
Smart move, because you know he wasn't going to
Kevin wears that mask all the time, but there is a
Some people do run better
substantial
than others.
fraction of the time
sure.
that it is
But not-
under his
not-
chin,
not that.
doing a fantastic job.
There's no way
of
he
pulling
had
his ears
below
down.
average luck
And yeah, I think that would
every
hurt.
month for 120.
And I would not appreciate doing that to myself. But
I mean,
you know,
you
Kevin
are more likely to pick the next 3 or
is
4
sticking with
Powerball
it.
winners in a row than to lose 120.
Wow, King 3 suited, Ace 5 suited going in the muck here from early position. What are we doing? I guess Fireman Scott has dwindled and has not decided to add on, so doesn't really have a ton of blinds when we think about it from the $20 straddle perspective, right? He's only got like 27 blinds or something, so opening there does kind of put him into a tricky spot. Out of
Decided to
position.
get rid of the blinds.
Still.
So it's depends which game, which night you go. It's either 10 to 25 or 10 to 50 on the button. And the game doesn't play as big as it did a few years ago because some of the players that were driving the action and losing the most money aren't playing anymore. But it used to be if you were the big winner for the night, you must be ahead at least 12,000.
Makes it a little bit different.
You know,
it could be from
and winning 5,000 or 6,000 was just like, oh, that's good, but
That's in Raleigh?
yeah. Nowadays, if you win 2,000, you're probably doing pretty good in the game. You know, for one night. And I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm not saying I'm not happy to win $2,000.
But you want to win 2,000 like every day, right?
All right, let's see if we get another
I want to win 20 million.
battle
every day.
between Optimize and Wolfgang. We are going to.
I came home one summer,
Defends the straddle.
and that's the first time I'd played since I left for Vegas. And I was like, oh, so who won all the money while I was gone? And they were like, okay, she must be up 140,000. And the game runs like 2 days a week.
Real good.
And they're like, yeah, one night she won like 80,000 in one night. People are telling me. And they're like, she was
Optimize wins this round.
Like, it was
7.
5-5 with a button straddle PLO.
So dark, it was like unwatchable. It was kind of
And
like these chairs were just like.
and they were like, apparently, like she was starting to like feel bad. She was like getting it all in with players on the flop where she had like no hand, no draw, trying to lose money back to them, and then she would hit some kind of runner and beat them anyway.
Sounds familiar.
Greg and Wolfgang
I mean,
are only two
$80,000
players that are up right
even
now.
if they were straddling $50 on the button every hand, that's a huge win.
4-betting kings, that's insane.
Oh my God, I had your hand crushed.
Man, another round of dust. We have seen a lot of below average holdings here tonight, and then just a few smatterings of like aces that usually don't get any big action. So unfortunately,
I don't know anyone that's even close to
haven't
my
seen
personal record
any
for
real big confrontations. You know,
duration of
certainly
time
nothing
with
as far as
0%
just like
I mean, no one
big
even
battles
close to
all
me
in
that I
pre.
know of.
Do you go to
A
a bunch of
couple of
these Austin
4-bet
FC
pots, I
games,
think.
Doug?
Those
Yeah,
were early,
like 15.
but
This
keep
year?
on trucking on and
No,
see
like
if we
just
can get some
live
action
this
here
year.
for you guys. I
I've
want to thank
heard they're a
everybody
ton
for
of fun,
tuning
but I
in here on this
haven't been yet.
wonderful Wednesday evening.
Hi-ya.
Aaron McAvoy hanging out with you here in the booth. TCH Social in Austin
So people just go and party
for this
with their
5-10
friends.
no limit hold'em game.
Order a section, it's just
All
like
pots
young
get
people
mixed in,
all
and
stand,
Day
they
two
all
of the
drink,
10
they
again,
sip beer in the air.
as a
So
reminder,
it's
we've
like
got
a
the
different game.
Trailblazer Tour in full swing, the
Really
main
fun.
event going right now.
Very
$1 million guaranteed in the prize pool.
Well, you're
Take
better
a look here at the schedule. So the 5 p.m. flight still has registration open until about 9:30 Central Time here. Then tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, we got 2 flights per day, noon and 5 p.m. All culminating day 2 on Sunday, kicking off at 2:30 p.m. Playing down to the final table that will be live streamed there on Monday the 20th.
It was very
I
sad.
think they built it right this
Very
time.
sad
A
day.
good chance that this event overlays similar to some of our previous events. So $1 million in the prize pool, regardless of how many people buy in. So come on down, join us here, TCH Social in Austin, and get a piece for
The guy who
yourself.
is now the big chip leader for the whole field is on the button.
I got a nice little
He's a good
piece of
player.
the overlay
Very
action in
loose
the
aggressive.
500K guarantee,
He
the
opens his
opening big
I
event.
have
and it finished in 6th place. You may have tuned in for that final table on Monday. We'll finish there for myself, and I'll be looking for a repeat. Hopefully I can make the final table again and shirk my duties of
Because his
commentary.
opening range on the button with a big stack is like
We shall see.
every pat hand,
Jack
every
Jack
one
3,
card draw,
bottom
every
pair for
two-card draw
PokerFace
to
Ash,
8 or
but
9.
she checks along with everyone else.
Maybe
Deuce
even
changes
3-card
nothing
draws if he has like
other than
two
some
pairs and stuff.
gut
Like, it's a
shot
setup shove, and if he
opportunities
calls
now
you,
for
you're probably
optimize.
in pretty good shape. Like probably close to 50%.
Wolfgang. Good draw. And he hoped for the
I go all in.
Ash is just going to
He-
fold
he-
here.
He's like, I go.
It's gonna be interesting.
Sorry, Greg, you
got
can't
like
win.
so
I have a
many new
wheel.
dynamics. You got
And then
Giddy,
like pause,
you never-
pause,
you
and
know,
he's like,
you
oh
do.
shit, I
You got
forgot about the
Lonzo
draw.
back. You have a good team
And
on
like,
paper. They
yeah. I don't know him well, but I know him
Just
well
how many
enough that
games
it's like, I don't
Lonzo's
think
gonna
there's any
give them.
chance this is an angle to get me to
Part of
break.
me thinks he's going to play like 12
I think
games.
if he
and
doesn't
he's
have a
gonna
wheel,
like
I think he
another
like honest to
knee
God
injury,
misread
never
a
tried.
card.
Yeah.
He's a good
So now I have to,
shooter.
instead of drawing 1, I have to draw 4.
Good defender.
He's fun to watch when he's on.
He had the wheel. There was
The
no
rookie
bullshit
they
going
drafted
on.
is
He had the
interesting,
wheel.
too.
So fold
the-
every hand for almost
Yeah,
3.5
Buzelis
hours
guy
to
or
get
whatever.
shoved into a
He's
pat
from
wheel.
Chicago.
Okay.
The poker gods were
He's
not
gonna be good in a
rewarding
few
me for
years. He
being
just needs to
patient.
fill out. He's a little bit scrawny right now.
He just like doesn't look athletic, but then he like goes down the lane and just like dunks it. You're like, what the fuck? I didn't even think
There was a reason
And
he
that
was
game's so
drafted.
different
Yeah.
than this game
You
admitted.
straddling?
He's
Oh,
good. I
no.
like Ayo Datumo.
I thought I was a
like
big-
Toby
It's
White.
allowed here.
It is.
I have a feeling
am
Levine's gonna get
anti-straddle.
traded
I
mid-season
don't
probably,
ever straddle.
which I don't hate.
Yeah.
If they say it's
He's
a
just
mandatory
volume
straddle, then I'm
scorer
like,
on
well,
a
then
bad
so it's
team.
3-1.
I mean, he was
Like,
good
it's not a
for
straddle anymore.
5+ years for them, but it's time to get rid of him.
Yeah, get something.
Ash, what kind of tips do you have for tournaments?
For tournaments, learn how to play a short stack. Learn how
Yeah, I
to
was talking
play,
with
like,
Ash about that earlier at
10
the
to 40 big ones.
cash
really well.
table.
Are you one of those
Always
players that
short in
like
tournament.
tries
Not
to
in
get
the
a big
cash
stack fast? Or are you one of those that just likes to survive? And
Depends on my table.
I think you want to play with the same mindset as if it were a cash game, because there's no ICM until you get down to like, when you get to the point where half the remaining field is going to cash, then there's ICM. Up till that point, ICM is negligible. You can ignore it.
Yep.
You know, so if you were in a tournament with 1,000 players, and there's still 600 people left, and you had a chance to get it all in, knowing you were 60-40, you should just like snap, of course. Like, folding there would be a big mistake, no matter how good you are. You'd have to be at a table where everyone was like playing their cards face up against you for that to be a fold. Like you could read them perfect every time.
Tony Ferguson joining us in the chat. What's going on? Absolutely hit that like for the greatest
Alright.
crew
I like having
in
a fold
all
that is
of the
absolutely
poker
not a nitty
sphere.
are you from around here?
Appreciate
Yeah.
you tuning in, man.
Just a grimy Austin reg.
B&W says
How are
TCH
you?
Social is
So
the
where do you
place to
normally
play in
play at?
Austin. I
Like
tell
right
you
here?
what, that
Waiting for
is
somebody, I
definitely
think.
true.
He's not playing.
Ronnie, you're going to flop top pair and the king kicking.
King
Going
Queen.
to raise, optimize, and take it
I
down.
definitely have the impression that Ken Paxton is long
Thanks for
gone.
tuning in, guys. Welcome to the stream here, Tony. And yeah, absolutely.
I guess he threatened to play so they'd put his name on the
The
graphic.
like
and
button
he'd get
should
some
be
free
smashed.
publicity.
The subscribe button should be smashed.
I thought he was coming.
He was here.
And man,
Yeah,
we have
he,
just so
I
many
think
cool
he's a
things
little
going
bit
on
of fun
here.
I don't know.
TCH Social,
Someone
the
said that
Trailblazer
he's only
Tour,
played like once or twice, like charity
all
tournaments.
underway. We've got the main event kicking off
He
today,
was drinking when he
and you
came
know,
over. So.
people
why we
snatching
all
up
showed
those
up.
points, working their way
I've
towards
never
Now we're
played
all
against,
sitting here
I've
playing
never
with
played
frickin'
against
Chevy
a drunk
Trailblazer.
Wolfgang.
One
PokerFace
person
Axe.
going to be
It's a setup.
awarded a
I thought
car
Wolfgang was a lot of
by
action.
Texas
That's what I
Card
heard.
House. The other players,
Ah, he's fake action.
In the right game.
entry into a 50K free roll.
I've shoved in.
Top
Is that a straddle?
I've shoved in
Point
600,
earner.
800,
All right, I'll
600.
All getting a little bit of
Free
something,
flop.
something.
That's
Was the 6-9 game on?
No,
Oh.
no. That was the 400 straddle. Curtis Meeks was the 800. I ripped it in for 6,800, and he's like, I haven't looked, and he calls me with ace king.
But he looked,
I checked
right?
the tape later, and he looked. And I hit a 6.
Oh my
I hit a
God.
6.
Can I get one of those waters from you? Thank you.
Oh, so you got justice because you.
I hit a 6 for
I checked.
14K or whatever. And I was like, nice, poker. Karma. And then I made a reel about it, I made a vlog about it, I hammered it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that what you said?
Huh?
You got Tony G'd?
Yeah. And then in that same session, I got Phil to rant at me. He's like, this Wolfgang kid shoves in 6,800 with a 6 and a 9. I was like,
Pretty
yes,
good
Phil, I
impression
did. I
of
played
Phil.
more than 15% of my hands.
The champions?
Champions.
Ronnie here, rivers a deuce. No good.
That's true. That's true.
He did a diamond.
They've got some
Right
good
there,
deals.
pulling out a bag of mush.
That's 105.
Dried apples. Dried apples.
Ken Paxton leave?
No, he's still good. Right up there.
No.
They got
Eric Van Loozen back in the chat. Hey, check your points.
That'll be
I'm
fun.
just curious
You
if
might
he
be able
was
to
actually
gamble
gonna play. And everyone, all the people on Facebook were like, make sure you win.
Oh wait, I
make sure you
think
win all
he's
this
coming
money.
over now. Fine.
Yeah, let's all give him some action there, guys.
All right, guys.
Let's get out of
Fair
this.
warning. We have Brandon through the TCH Masterclass of poker, right? Oh! Snap! He comes with a fair
All
warning.
right, here we go.
Take it easier now.
What's up? I'm Doug.
I'm you, Scott.
Kevin.
How's it going, buddy? Good to see you
How you
again.
doing? I'm Greg. I won't try to stretch that fry.
Here we go.
I
We
got
are
too
getting
much in the way. But I'm happy to shake
our
your hand
ninth
later.
player joining us here on the felt, filling the table.
I should have had you go up and look at it.
So how many times have people actually asked you to do some
Ash, do you have a policy of tournaments that how many do you feel like you should cash in this, like, or make some kind of money?
10 to 20% of them, maybe. If you're like a decent player.
But like if you play like you start playing today and you play like 10 tournaments, you're hoping to hit at least 2 of those, like at
Yeah.
least make some kind of.
Yeah.
What are you coming in for? 1,000?
And then you want to get where all the money is, which is top 3. Obviously, like want to win, but
Yeah, 5, 9, 12, yeah, 1,200.
I wouldn't even worry about it.
it's hard to do.
I feel like my motivation just hasn't been there because it's like I can hit it hard and play
3-bet
good
pot
cash
here.
games and like
Top 2 for
do
Wolfgang.
good, and then you go to a tournament and like you can play for 2 months, and I haven't made what I would normally make in a week or 2.
Oh,
What do you want your name
But
to
like,
be on the stream?
but I'm saying like I'm sure if I got first place in a big one, I'm sure I'd be a lot more enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Jason, okay. So you want
And then
Jason
also I think the level, like we were talking about earlier, the level of players, I feel like you get beat a lot more by a worse player in a tournament than you can in a cash game.
The problem is you have a finite number of chips in a tournament, so you can't like reload, you know?
Right.
I mean, unless you rebuy, obviously.
Yeah.
but
Kevin sticks around, drawing
Honestly, you should
very
ask
thin,
this
now
guy.
dead.
He's a tournament guy?
He won the main event.
Wolfgang
I
should be
know,
trying to
he
get
did.
all the
Okay,
money
alright.
here.
Huh?
Kevin
I know
is the
someone
effective
who
stack.
was player of the year,
40 left
the
to
World
go.
Series of Poker, and the next
Of course,
year he
Kevin
went
can't
0 for
withstand
36.
many more bullets
And
unless
it's not
he
because he
thinks
played like shit that
Wolfgang is up to
It's
no
just a
good.
variance.
Happened that
It's
way.
just a variance.
Having
of
a
it.
jack not going to be a great card there as the king jack and
And
the
I
jack
have
10
friends who play
of the
online
world.
tournaments for a living
Maybe
and
even the
have done
jack
it
9. You give him
successfully
some of
for
those
years
as a
and
free
years and
bet
years.
from time to time.
They will play as many tournaments in a week as I can play in a year.
Yeah, they was like,
And they will occasionally have a losing month.
Ma'am, I did not know.
2 block
So
there.
that's equal to 4 years of my tournaments.
555.
So here's a guy who's a
Beautiful.
good player who's making money for 10 plus years.
Blah, blah.
Now he has a losing month,
I'm pretty small.
and that's as many buy-ins as I will do in 4 years.
Good kicker or bad kicker?
So the variance is just
Maybe we got the same
high.
name.
So
Yeah, the Trade Gorillas. We're on
it's essentially impossible
20 in between Abilene.
to play tournaments, track your results, and achieve a statistically valid sample size.
Right, exactly.
It just you can't really do it. Online, if you're doing it online, maybe you can come close.
Yep, that's true.
Oh, nice.
So what you're saying is cash is a lot more
85
profitable. Is that where you're
floors
going with this
on the
conversation?
Stairmaster.
Wow.
Well done, Eric.
I'm Ashley.
My goodness.
Most of the country,
The last part of that
people
sentence
play better in
is
the
something
cash
you can
game
take back and never repeat,
worse
but
in tournaments.
good on you for getting some exercise there, buddy. Giuseppe, yeah, well, he was talking earlier about the game that he plays normally. Definitely going to be bigger than this one. But 510 in Texas is no joke.
Red in there. Come on. You know
We've
what
got some 3K stacks around this table
I think
for
that might be
sure.
different here in Texas. I think the tournament players might actually play with a little more skill.
Caitlin from Texas joining us here in the chat. What is up, my friend? She says, let's go PokerFace Ash. Jason Mitchell, fresh in the 1 seat. Going to play his first hand here, but didn't get the card scanned in, so not really sure what he's working with.
$100 an hour. And then at the end of the year, you're losing money. That's 2.25.
Atypical blackjack can do 85 floors going down. Yeah, you just tuck and roll.
Taking your same level of skill.
Jack 8-5, two-tone board here. Fireman Scott with the pair
You to
of
play a
threes.
million years.
Checks to him.
We would have like, oh, you made $100.
Yeah, whenever you get checked to, it's usually a spot where you're like, well, maybe I could just like bet and they fold, but it doesn't have a lot of stack depth to work
more
with.
of that, like, emotional.
And it's now going to get raised by. Oh wait, this is just a big. This is just a big bet from Doug, actually. Okay, yeah, we just didn't have the action all caught up.
Or at least you're not good enough to beat the games you're playing.
Doug makes a big bet there, I think, with top 2 on the flop, and indeed that is the case.
You can beat 1-2, but you can't.
Wolfgang not in the hand, but Jason is.
I guess that's kind of that's kind of.
And he leads for 50 on the turn.
Games that I play, like most good players. I mean,
Doug makes the call. It's another heart. Check, check. And there is the river flush. Wow. Doug did not win that hand. We got the action all messed up there. It's going to be Jason backing into the nut flush. He's going to take that one down.
Bend over, Daddy.
Take it like a champ. Lose money. Yeah. Because you like didn't cash for enough. You got a bunch of situations where you like,
already $50 on the tournament.
You know, or you cashed in the smaller buy-ins and didn't do as well in the bigger buy-ins.
Eric,
He
check
said
your points.
Two-pair too. You like the way he schooled you with that down bet on the turn and you just called? God, you got schooled. And then he got to draw and hit. My Lord.
So you're the big one.
Putting on a class for you. Holy shit, you snap called
master class.
I know.
All right, so.
Oh my God, I've never seen a hand.
I need some poker coaching.
Optimize really leaning into that loss. Of course, he plays with Doug a lot, so they like to needle
Trying
each
to make a
other.
living playing poker, it's probably easier. Like buttons and then if you're good enough to beat.
We're getting a lot of misreads here. I think Jason probably hasn't played on a live stream table very much, and so this may be
honestly, they have $1 million.
him not scanning his cards.
Between here, Dallas,
and it leading to a bit of a cascade. Things like that would happen if we don't get one player consistently scanning their cards.
Don't bother with the like $100 or $200 daily tournament.
And yeah, that's absolutely right, Blackjack. You win your first hand, it feels real good, especially for a nice big chunky one like that.
What just happened?
That's fucking soothing.
Kevin's ears continue to be pulled down into the center of the earth.
I prefer tournament. I think this is
tournament.
Scott here got to listen to Greg tell stories in Tunica. Wow, cool. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. A lot of the old guard, you know, the guys that were big in the early days of the poker boom, Greg, of course, no exception, have a ton of incredible stories. There are plenty of high-stakes poker and Poker After Dark and all those shows, right, where, you had Doyle Brunson, just all those guys telling stories,
I've been down that road.
harkening back to an earlier time. And pretty incredible. Just like what sort of things these poker players have witnessed over the years. And yeah, I mean, every day there's a new generation of poker player born. And more stories to be had.
So this is the scanner, right?
Eric is finally up to 9 loyalty points after finally checking his points. All right. Well, now you got to wait 15, 20 minutes or whatever the heck it is to get your next one,
Way back
and
in
then
like
you
maybe
can
05 or 06, PokerStars
gamble it
was
up with
advertising during the Dallas Maverick home games. It was the last home. It was like courtside advertising.
Saints fan?
Last home game of the season. It was
Saints
Poker
fan?
Stars hat night. And they wanted me to come in.
Oh, there you
and
go, yeah.
they were doing like a giveaway at halftime. They were gonna like, you know, pick a seat. If you were that was your seat, come on down. You play this.
Absolutely, yeah. Licensed
Pokerish
massage therapist
game.
from Texas Royal Touch.
Then, you know,
on hand
and
here
you
at
win a
TCH
prize.
Social in Austin.
Which is
Give you a
kind of
little
we're
tune-up
randomly making a
at the
hand
table.
with these oversized
We all
cards
get a little
and,
tense in the neck and shoulder, of course, hunching over the table.
And,
so
I'm like,
not
okay,
getting
I'll be
much
there.
exercise and
I'm going to be flying in the day
stretching or
before the
whatnot,
game.
as we should. So yeah,
Like high school games
licensed
at the end of
massage
the season,
therapist
they're
here
Our
on hand,
marketing
buck and a
guy
half a
is
minute.
from Dallas, and he says, Greg, like your plane lands at like 4 p.m. Do you want to play a 5-10, a private 5-10 game that night? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What else am I going to do? Like, I'll be sitting in the hotel room. And he's like, yeah, I want you to play because the game is mostly reporters and bloggers. So we'll get some free publicity out of it.
With the whole story.
Wow, Greg just opened mucks.
So I'm like, yeah, great. I'll plan on it as long as my plane's on time. We'll do that.
That is tight.
And then like half an hour later, he calls me back and he's like, Greg, I asked you about that game. You might want to ask Cheryl, my wife. I'm like, Cheryl doesn't care if I play 5-10 total. And he's like, yeah. He goes, but I didn't really understand. Like they told
Kevin
me what
gets
the
to
game
win
was,
with
and I
5
thought it was
deuce
like
off.
an Elks Club or something like that because it's being played at the lodge.
Oh no, Gentlemen's Club.
And the lodge
Golden
is
Hand's
like
like
the
King
number
Queen
one
here.
high-end like gentleman's club, strip club. and the game is played in a private room there with strippers as dealers. And I'm like, you're right, I better ask.
Cool, but after that, I was like,
oh no.
And she, she's like, well, you're not going to do anything, And I'm like, no, I'm just going to be there to play poker because of the reporters.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I guess it's okay. So now, several years go by. I come home from, I don't know, I was playing golf or something. I come home, and my wife is sitting at her computer at this little desk thing in the kitchen area.
$10.
And she's like, what is this? And it's a picture of me, and I've got my arm around this very pretty, like, petite Asian woman who's wearing, like, hot pants, short pants, and a mesh top. And the mesh is, like, this big. The holes are, like, this big. And she has very artificially, large breasts. And she shows me the picture, and I'm sitting there going, like, how do I not remember this?
Yeah.
Like I'm like sitting there posing for a picture with this woman who's basically half naked.
Yeah.
And I honestly couldn't remember it. I'm like, where did you get that? And she's like, I'm like, that must be photoshopped because I don't remember it. And then she like shows me like her friend sent it to her and the link, and it was like, oh, it's some guy's blog. And then I was like, oh, wait. She was the cocktail server. Remember, like, when I asked you about playing at the strip club?
That's my son. We got Anna coming and take care of
Like,
that.
she was a cocktail server, and she was a big poker fan, and she wanted a picture, so I took a picture. And one of the bloggers took a picture of us taking a picture and put it on his blog.
That was cut off that hand.
And her friend found it now, like, 3 years later, and sent it to her.
Maybe they didn't.
And she's like so mad at me, and I'm like,
They may have not posted
Well, she was probably confused when she figured out what it was.
You gave me a wall.
and I'm like, she's like,
These are some hilarious stories, by the way. We're going to get a dealer change here real
can't really
quick.
complain anymore.
And we are going to jump to the Ken Paxton interview here in just a little bit. So I hope everybody is excited to hear from our state attorney general here in Texas, sitting down with CEO Brian Crow.
See how big you smile.
We'll be getting that
I don't know where
interview
to find
up
that picture. I'm sure you can
for
dig
you
it
guys
up.
in just a little bit.
I mean, it was on the internet, so it must still be there somewhere.
Atypical Blackjack wants to know what
Yeah, she
Fireman
was
Scott
really
was
mad at me
talking
for a little
about.
while.
Hey, what time's your surgery start?
Yeah, and then when I finally figured it out, it was kind of like, well, okay, I'm not really allowed to be mad at him anymore, but I want to be mad at him.
Right.
All right, guys, we're going to start with bomb pot.
Oh, bomb pot, you said?
Oh yeah, this is my
Hey, Bomb Pot. How do you feel about those?
I love them.
Okay, so
Most of the time I find that the people in my games don't play them well.
We're getting 4 cards this time.
all right, someone's missing. Just feel them out. Okay, so I'll be able to see Mom before her surgery. Then. Good luck. Well, I'm asking. I would be able to see her.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
the one time
otherwise I
I
was
played in a
gonna
bomb
leave.
pot only game, just all bomb pots, it was like everyone there really knew what
Otherwise,
they
I
were
was
doing.
gonna leave
Yeah, it's not that fun. It's a lot funner.
Like Resorts World runs, or used to run those games like every once a week. But the players that came there specifically for that
Okay,
were
yeah. Oh, I
pretty
just
good
made
at
sure
bomb
I'd be able to
pots.
see her before she goes into the surgery.
All right, $25 bomb pot here.
No, it meant if it was in the morning, I was gonna come home. Okay.
Wow, those two boards look
Well,
very similar.
Okay.
I'll be
all
happy
right.
with
Thank
the
you.
same
Gotta go.
hand
All
on
right.
both boards.
Check. Check. Sure. All right. 5, 6, 8, and 9. Check. Action is on 1.
Action is on the kid. Let's see here.
Predictably, when both boards look the same, either one player has just like everything or nobody has anything. Having a jack in your hand is a big deal. Bronny seems to be the only one with a jack. No, Wolfgang has a jack. So small bet, 50 into 200, and everyone calls, at least everyone as far as these 4 players are concerned. And there we go on the turn. Trip 9s for Optimize on the bottom board. And we're just going to check all the way through. Everyone is just like, yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of something, but nothing really. And there we get to the rivers. Wolfgang here makes a straight with his jack on the bottom board. Bronny has a jack, but doesn't have a friend to go with it, so he can't actually make a straight with it.
I'm on the fold.
Yeah, who, fucking old man Ken? Or no, the fucking
Oh, showdown.
Yeah, I fucking saw
Jason bets 100 here, just trying to take this one down. He really doesn't have anything, but just hopes that if everybody is checking, that his bet of 100 will win him the pot. That doesn't happen. And it's going to be Optimized and Wolfgang chopping this up. Tony, if the stream is pausing or you're getting lag or something like that, just refresh your page. That usually sorts folks out. If that doesn't help, it's probably your internet. But all right, so yeah, just really big thank you to everybody who came out here today at TCH Social in Austin for our, our day full of giveaways. It's our all in together poker and politics meetup game here today. We had some fantastic meetup game action with all of these poker celebrities. Of course, PokerFace Ash, Wolfgang. We got Fireman Scott, Jason Mitchell, and of course Greg Raymer here in the mix today. We've got Ken Paxton, Attorney General here for the state of Texas, joining us. Big thank you to him for coming out, and really hope that y'all enjoy this interview that he's going to have, an exclusive interview with Texas Card House CEO Ryan Crow coming up here for everybody to watch. So kick back, relax, and enjoy as we listen to the words of Ryan Crow and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton.
Thank you for watching TCH Live. My name is Ryan Crow, owner and CEO of the Texas Card House. I have with me today someone who probably needs no introduction here in the state of Texas, the Attorney General Ken Paxton. Ken, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming in. I just want to kick things off by saying thank you. Texas Card House has been around for about 10 years, and in that time, we spend a lot of time talking to people at the state level and asking questions, and it takes a lot of time and effort to actually come in and understand who we are and what we do. So we just want to thank you for coming in and just taking the time to learn more about us and who we are.
Well, glad to be here. We're right before an election. There's a lot of great voters here, and they may not have all voted yet. So we got some voters here we need to talk to.
Absolutely. Well, just out of curiosity, is this the first time you've been to a place like Texas Card House?
I've never been to a card house. I don't even really know how to play poker.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, what'd you think of the place?
It's nice. It's spacious. It's looks like it's done in a first-class way. It looks like the food's really good, and looks like there were a lot of people in there enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's a good time, and it's a lot of poker players. But we actually try to cater to all walks of people. So just the general public, sports bar, food, a restaurant, and that kind of stuff. So
that's what it felt like. It felt like a big sports bar.
Yeah, so it's not just poker, but all different types of entertainment. So, well, cool. So now that you've seen it, is it kind of what you expected?
I think it was bigger than I expected, and there were obviously more people here than I would have expected. It's kind of shocking. I mean, we're at a weeknight here, and there's a lot of people here.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, there's a lot of people in Texas who really enjoy playing poker. Also, big event going this week, and so a lot of poker celebrities in town, people such as yourself that are here, kind of enjoying the events going on. But really excited to have them all here and to have you with us as well.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
So, just out of curiosity, when did you first become aware of rooms like ours in Texas?
I guess I'd heard about them for several years. I didn't think much about it, and I'd say over the last couple of years, I've just become aware and kind of heard more about them, but had never visited, and kind of was curious to see what they look like and what kind of people showed up here.
Yeah. And as you can see, it's a pretty broad range of ages, demographics, and so forth. So, pretty big range of people who visit us. As far as your knowledge of clubs like ours, do you feel like they've been? I mean, do you see them as more of a positive thing, as far as like from an economic standpoint and a community standpoint, or do you feel that they're a positive part of the community?
Well, part of the reason I wanted to come see this is just to see what it looked like, because people have different opinions about what these places are like, and I didn't really have an opinion. I just wanted to see what it looked like, and that's part of the reason I came out tonight, is just to see what are these card houses that you hear about around the state, what do they look like, and what kind of people show up, and what's the feel of them. So I'm sort of developing my opinion from just being here, and it seems like a great place for people to have a good time.
Yeah,
all kinds of different ways, not just playing poker.
No, that's great. Well, and especially being so busy with just out of curiosity, with the election coming, you're not up for your election, correct?
That's correct.
But are you pretty involved with all the stuff that goes on during this election cycle?
So I've been very involved with election issues, which has taken me away from particularly campaigning for other people. But I have been very involved in worrying about how this election is going, voter fraud, and issues related to election integrity, and whether we're going to have elections that are going to be fair and free and done the right way.
And how's that going? How's it looking?
I have concerns. We have literally millions of illegal immigrants that potentially could vote, and I'm suspicious of why the Biden administration made sure that they started coming the first day he was elected.
Yeah.
So I do have some concerns about, because we had problems last time with mail-in ballots, sending out millions of mail-in ballots that shouldn't have been sent out. They were illegal, and people voted that we have no idea who voted, and yet they counted the ballot. So I have concerns because the last election was so crazy.
Yeah.
First time in my lifetime that it took them 3 days to count the votes, and it was all in the swing states, which was, what, is that a coincidence that it was in all the swing states?
You would think you could count on the day that happens. Right?
Well, and you wouldn't think it would just be the swing states, but it was. It was just swing states, and in every one of them, Trump was way ahead, and then 3 days later, he lost. So it's a little suspicious. How can you not be suspicious of an election that's never occurred in my lifetime, where they had to stop counting ballots to find out who got elected 3 days later?
Yeah, that's very interesting. So is that one of the main topics that you're focused on in this re-election? Is
look, if we can't have elections where your vote really matters, and we only count people that are eligible to vote, not people that are just flown in from all over the world who suddenly are voting. If we can't have those elections, none of these other issues matter.
Yeah.
We're not a free country. Our vote doesn't matter. We see this all over the world. We have Venezuela, we have China, we have most countries, elections don't really matter. Even in some of the ones that are democracies, they're somewhat rigged. I mean, I've been in countries where, the same guy gets elected for 20 years. It's probably not really happening that way. It's controlled. And so there's just not very many countries where the people actually run the government. And there's obviously an effort in this country to change that, to make sure that it's only a few people making the decisions up in D.C. Some of the people, probably names we've heard of, that want to control these elections and have a one-party country where there's no competition. It's just a few people decide everything, and I don't think that's best for Americans. I don't think that's the country that was founded, and I hope that's not the country we're going to get.
Very cool, very cool. And my understanding is your wife's running for re-election right now too, in the North Dallas area, right? Angela Paxton?
Yeah, so she's running for state senate. She's got an opponent, and so she's out working that right now, and I'm optimistic that she's going to win, and certainly hopeful that she does.
Very cool.
Matter of fact, I'm going to be voting this week, and I'm going to be voting for her.
There you go. Yeah, get out and vote. Everybody get out and vote.
Well, we got 2 weeks early voting. That's really important. And I really do believe, and there's so many people that don't think it matters. It matters more, even with the issues I'm talking about, if there is voter fraud, what we want to make sure is that we get enough people voting to overcome voter fraud, which I say if there is voter fraud, there is going to be some voter fraud. There was massive voter fraud last time. I don't know how much it's going to be, but if Americans get out and vote, we can overcome it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Out of just kind of for our viewership, mostly poker players that want to watch this. Can you kind of tell me is there anything in the elections coming up that like our demographic that you need to be focusing on as far as like people who are up for election, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's better if you're educated about voting. It's important to understand who you're voting for. 'Cause going in and just randomly selecting a name, that doesn't do much. I think you need to look at the direction of the country. Which direction do you like? Do you like the direction that we've been heading the last 4 years? Or are you more favorable to what happened 4 years ago? Those votes really do matter. And if you sit on the sideline, you are going to be part of participating in the demise of our country.
Nice. So you were reelected in 2022, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're up in 26.
That's correct.
And assume you'll be, the Attorney General. You're there until 2050?
No. Who knows? No, I won't. Look, I've done this 3 terms. I don't know. I'm considering whether I want to run for that or potentially something else in this state.
There you go. I laugh because I had a list of questions I was supposed to ask and I lost them, and so I'm just kind of winging that out. There was something about what you were going to read. I just wanted to. I thought it was interesting to kind of hear more about your position and kind of where you are.
Yeah, so I've done this for 12 years. That I think the only other Attorney General in our history that's done 12 years is Greg Abbott, who's governor. So I may do another term, or I may end up running for something else in the state. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Awesome. Well, I appreciate having you on here. Anything else that you'd like to say to our viewers or anything else before we wrap up?
Just go vote. It's really important that you understand who you're voting for, but make sure you go vote. It really does matter.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thank you for coming out to the Texas Card House. We loved having you here, and hopefully we'll see you here more often.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, very cool interview there. Owner and CEO Ryan Crow sitting down with State Attorney General Ken Paxton, talking about some of the issues facing our country and our state. And very, very insightful interview there. As Ryan picks the brain of the man who
I love farmers markets, so you caught my ear.
sort of definitely has an impact on the direction of poker in the state as well. So didn't see quite as much conversation around sort of the legality of poker and what that looks like going forward here in the state as maybe some of us thought we might see. But yeah, also conversations I'm sure that are happening there in the background as well. Definitely something that I think a lot of us are concerned about. And thankfully here as of late, right, we've seen a lot of good support from, recent rulings and things that have sort of solidified the ground under the feet of poker here in the state of Texas. And just the fact that Ryan is able to sit down with Ken and have this conversation that he just had, I think lends some credibility to the idea that poker is here to stay, and certainly that's something that we would all like to see. So great interview there, and awesome to see the connections that are being made here, poker in the state of Texas. Hui Wen in the chat says, congrats on the score last week. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, it sucked running my kings into aces actually is the cooler that I think you're referencing. I was able to sort of bounce back from that, but yeah, just lost too many chips there down the stretch. But 6th place still, fantastic finish. I'm happy to have that happen for sure. All right, here we go. 3-bet pot up until PokerFace Ash looks down at the ladies, and she puts in the 4-bet. Now Jason Mitchell here gonna make the call out of the big blind with ace-9 offsuit. Pretty splashy call here as Doug once again releases the ducks. He had them earlier in the night. Kevin here getting a price with the 10-7, the suited 2-gapper. He's going to make the call, and Bronny now can close the action if he wants to come along and see a flop.
Good enough. Well, I probably don't want it then.
And why not, right? I mean, this pot is already $1,000. You put your remaining, whatever, 235 or something in there. Pot's going to go up to nearly 1,300, and you know, you just sort of cross your fingers and hope that you hit something. He does make the call, and here we go. 4 players to a flop. This is not what Ash had in mind when she put in the 4-bet. And here we go. 7-high board, 2 clubs. Bronny has really obliterated this board. Combo draw. Checks to Bronny. He rips it right into the pre-flop aggressor as well. He says, all right, Ash, I'm ready to get my chips in there. She is looking at a 7-high board. She can't really go folding queens. Just hopeful that she's not up against a set.
A queen on the turn. No, I got Cajun salmon.
Oh, that's what you recommended.
Going to be back over to Jason here with just the 2 overcards. Presumably, he is folded indeed. And now Kevin here with a little bit of a decision. I mean, he's got the top pair, and that's, you know, never a bad thing. But, like, come on, let's be honest. Once PokerFace Ash puts her money in there, you're a huge dog. So he does find the fold, and now we're going to run it out. Can Bronny get there? Brick on the turn. Oh, there's the straight. Comes in on the river. And PokerFace Ash not going to quite go all the way down to the felt. They are pretty close in chips. She's going to get $60 in rebate. But, yeah, that is a big flop for the King-6 of clubs.
Once I saw the flop, it was all over.
Eric doubling up.
Oh,
actually, no. If you roll between like 51 and 70 or whatever it is, you just get your points back. You actually have to, I don't know, roll high or something. I don't know exactly what the break points are. Someone who does this all the time maybe can let us know. But I'm going to give it a try too. I'll gamble it up. At least you didn't lose, right? 55 is good. Let's see if I can get something out of it. As, yeah, really nice spot there for Bronny. He's going to go ahead and chip up, grabbing all of those chips in from Ash's stack. And Ashley's going to need to reload. Or perhaps she is going to take her leave. Oh, she says she's going to be right back. I know that she has been dealing with some things. You know, I want to express my condolences to Ash and her family for the struggles that they've been going through. But hopefully things are okay and improve.
Because all the animals that are coming out of western North Carolina
extend our best wishes
Florida where the hurricanes hit.
Her and her family. I don't know details, of course, but just
you probably have shelters
we all
around
heard
here
a little bit of what she was talking about.
taking in animals from there.
Yeah, they're
Let me tell you something about dogs. Too much hair in
I
your
adopted a
clothes.
second dog like 4 months
I
ago.
love dogs, but damn.
But two's a lot already, but
Yeah.
you bring up good points.
I've had
I mean, if you were thinking about it anyways, like,
I mean, I love them,
sooner
but it's
rather
just
than
like,
later.
it's more,
I
so much
volunteer at a
work.
cat
Wolfgang
shelter.
here, free betting Optimize again. These two players doing battle quite a lot here this evening.
Western part of the state, but even places like here in Texas, you know, if it's
Fireman Scott, he's got a pair, he's all in.
Here, you've probably been asked, can you take some animals?
Do you have more behind?
No, that's it.
He's got more than 159,
Like, why put it off for a
but
month?
does get Optimized out of the way, and Wolfgang here,
Yeah.
2 overs.
Sad. I mean, there are probably a lot of cats and dogs that haven't even been.
Oh, I rolled a 23 and bricked all my points, but Bill and Matthew come in and roll some real nice ones. All right. 8's versus the King 10. 8's still in the lead, and they fade to the overcards. So Fireman Scott here going to get the double up.
And like, you know the owner, but like they're sitting there with no power. You can't contact them. You know, you,
see, that's what happens
you want to
to me
take
in
care
every
of the
tournament.
animals, but you have room.
Right. Like, that's why I back
They
up.
send the adoptable animals to us,
I see.
and that way they can take care of like your pet that got lost
And then they're like,
until they can
like I
hook
was
up
just
with
talking a
you
little bit with Ash
get
and
it back
him,
to them.
and they're like, yeah, sometimes you got to play for months before you actually start earning money. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Eric, I hear you. I mean, I think that I think that we'd always like to pull back the curtain a little bit more than we're able to in situations like this. You know, there's always sort of the impetus to kind of keep things close to the vest and not really talk too openly about things of that magnitude. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great though, right? Like, Mr. Paxton hadn't been into a card room before, and you know, to be able to come into TCH Social here in Austin, see this beautiful room packed with people enjoying this game, right? I mean, it sets a good impression on someone who is going to have a real say in, you know, sort of the direction of things that will influence poker here in the state. So, you know, to have them come in and see that people are really enjoying this atmosphere, enjoying this game that we play, and you know, obviously that like no one is being victimized here, despite what some people would like to have you believe. It's an amazing experience to be able to play poker and do it in an above board, well maintained and safe place. So pretty great to have him in. All right, Kevin here is going to make 2 pair on the turn. That gives Bronny top pair with the queen kicking. So pretty tricky spot here for Bronny, as Kevin, it looked like he bet more than 50, but I guess he just has his other chips kind of far forward. And the river is an ace. Kevin goes for the trap check, but Bronny just quickly knuckles it back. And I'm not sure there was a ton of value to be had there for Kevin, but it seems to me that if you're going to bet the turn, you probably should be betting the river as well.
I'm starting to rethink that, though. Like, that's what we were told when we rescued him.
You never know unless you try.
Well, we rescued him, and we were told, like, that was the reason the family gave him up. They had multiple pets, and he did not do well with all the other pets. So, but I'm starting to think that, you know, maybe now he's been with us a couple of years, I think he might be
Blackjack.
able to handle
Yeah,
it.
Kevin, he put it back on. It's still pulling on them. Ears still being wrenched in the forward direction this time, not towards the center of the planet.
So I might see about.
All right, Greg with a couple of jacks. Just going to limp. We're getting tricky around here. Greg showing us that he's got some moves, one of them being the upfront limp with big pairs, presumably with the intention of back raising, and he will get his opportunity to do so now as Optimize raised the 10-8 in the low jack, and here is that back raise. Limp back raise for Greg with the jacks, and he will drag the pot no further.
Pulls it in, stacks it up.
Aggression.
Easy money.
Every dollar counts.
All right, let's take a little profit and loss look here. Optimize up the most. He and Greg both up over 1,000. Bronny and Doug and Wolfgang all up in the many hundreds of dollars, or several hundreds of dollars. And there we go down the line as Ashley is no longer on the list there, getting stuck on that last big hand against Bronny.
He'd win a couple of pots in the first orbit, and he'd
So the remaining players all down.
But if he got stuck, he could play for like 24 hours.
Diesel is. Oh, you're saying Diesel is on brand. Right. Agree.
He knows it's not a good strategy, but he just can't stand booking a loss.
What do you do out in? What do you do in Dallas?
Grind it out.
To be honest, man, I like.
And he almost never.
All right, single raise pot. Wolfgang takes it down.
His win rate must have been like 98, 99% for years.
That's really, you know, I catch as many games as I can. But other than that,
What kind of fishing do you do? You go up to Lake Texoma or?
Bro, to be honest, I just started fishing like 2 months ago. So I just be bass fishing. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
I've been fishing ever since I took up poker.
Really?
At the poker table.
Oh, it's funny.
At the poker table or in real life?
It was supposed to be a joke. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be that funny, but you know,
it's funny.
Mildly amusing. I'll settle for mild. I mean, I didn't make it when I tried to be a stand-up comic, so I'll accept mildly amusing. Actually, I quit being a stand-up comic as soon as I got offered a paying gig.
All right. Looks like we've got the action a little bit messed up. Optimized open, Wolfgang 3-bet, and I thought that we had one other player in there, but
then I got offered a job,
unless
but it
I'm
was like-
mistaken, we are
They called it a Rambo tour. It'd be like a van, and they'd say,
heads
"You're the
up, and we are
experienced
indeed
guy,
heads
you'd
up.
be in
Okay,
charge."
top pair here for
And then there'd be like
optimized,
4 of
Wolfgang
us
with the pair of
with you,
threes.
and we'd be
Presumably
driving
just
around to
taking
all these
a
tiny little
strategy
bars
of
and
like,
shit
I'm just
all
going
over
to
the
3-bet
upper
optimize no matter what I have, whether
and,
it's
and doing 1 or 2 shows
a
a
hand
night
that would
at various places.
more traditionally just
And
call.
You would be in charge of like hotel rooms and meals and stuff. That was
Here we
provided.
go, the small probe from
So like, our
Optimize.
room and board was provided for
And the
month,
call from
and our pay
Wolfgang,
for the
and
month
another
was
kind of scary card for both players here. It's
for the
just
month.
overcards
Because it
for
was
days.
also, like,
It'll be
they
interesting
spend
to
way
see if
more on
Optimize
hotel
checks,
rooms
which
and
he
food
does.
than they
Is Wolfgang going to turn the threes into a
And it was
bluff
really-
to try to get a
the thing is,
6
like,
or a
if you
9 to
wanted to
fold?
make it, you
Maybe
would
even
take
something
this
like
job,
pocket
because
eights,
if you did
etc. No,
well,
but he's going to take his
again, you're the
showdown value.
experienced guy who the guy in charge
And the 9
trusts, and you're going to
is
tell
good.
him like Greg killed it or Greg sucked or whatever. And then if you're telling him how good I'm doing, now he's gonna like, okay, so the big name is coming. Like Louis Anderson is gonna do a show.
Right.
I'll have Greg be one of the opening acts.
Right.
Because he did good for the whole month.
Right.
You know, and now you're doing good as an opening act for the big names, and that's your way of moving up the ladder. And I'm like, I'm going to grad school. I would have to like drop out of school, give up my scholarship. Like my rent, even back then in Minneapolis, was $250 a month. So I'm like, if I don't give up my apartment, I'm losing $50 to do this. You know, so I was just like,
What year was this?
this would have been like 1987 or 8.
Man, inflation comes for us all.
Are there videos of it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
$250 a month for rent? My goodness.
That was still cheap rent.
Yeah,
Even for Minneapolis, even back
I'll buy
then,
his beer.
it was cheap rent.
Atypical Blackjack wants to order 5 Moscow mules for Greg. Well, the man is allergic to alcohol, so please don't do
No,
that.
it would have been later than that. It would have been about 89.
Although, if you feed them to
I
Wolfgang,
remember, like, I was moving
he
into
may
this place
become
and
a little bit more energized. As I think maybe the last Moscow mule has worn off a little. Perhaps he just needs to play more pots against
And I'm like, no. And he's like,
Optimize.
well, like the store, like 2 blocks down on the corner was on cops this summer because someone got killed there.
The original first 48.
So he's like, yeah, that's, in case you didn't know it, that's where you're living.
I wanted more cards.
I know, but
4 is better than 2.
see, 1 calls, 3, 4 folds, 5.
But when you're a big guy and you're obviously not wealthy, it's like who's gonna come rob you? You know, like what are we gonna get out of the guy who's a student?
Right.
He's a student in a cheap a cheap room in a bad part of town. Like what are we gonna get if we rob this guy?
All right,
The
limped
most
pot.
valuable thing in my apartment would
Top
have
2
been,
pair
like,
for
the books I had to buy
Optimize.
for law school.
Checks all the way through.
Right. And you ain't gonna sell those for $2 each.
Now we got a
Even if I
pair
had
of
paid
jacks
$80
for Bronny.
for 'em.
Nothing
Are there videos of your
for
stand-up?
Wolfgang or Jason. They're out of there. See if Bronny wants to peel off a river card. No, he's just done with
There's
it.
pictures of him with a naked Asian woman online.
Half naked. Half naked.
Half
Could I
naked,
get
sorry.
whites recently?
No, you missed that story.
All right, now it'll be my time. I gotta use the extra milk. Okay.
She was the cocktail waitress in a private poker game in Dallas that was at a
Is that your
strip
buddy
club.
right there?
All right, we've got a newcomer to the stream. It looks like we've got the artist formerly known as Westlake Matt.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's going by tonight. Perhaps just Matt, perhaps
Were like this big.
Trust Fund Matt, perhaps
So she had on the top.
something else.
Might as well not have.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
left.
No. I can't believe that. I feel bad now. She told me I had
And
pretty
so
blue eyes.
I got in trouble when my wife saw the picture.
But I dare say we're going to see a few more 3-bet and 4-bet pots.
And Ash.
Oh, that's not Westlake Matt. Why did I think
had a
that's who
bad
that
break,
was?
Ash. Like you.
I don't know. The first angle I thought that was Westlake Matt, but
PokerFace
apologies
was there, and I'm
to
like,
everyone
what
involved. Same color hoodie
You put on some weight.
and perhaps similar color
And
hat,
blue.
but that's definitely a different man. And we'll find out who that is here. It's Big Red.
Yeah.
Sounded like
Well,
you
I
two
got-
pair set.
The tablet re-raised to 75
Nah, she's got aces. She raised 300 some pre-flop.
It's funny when you do that. You like see someone and that like their profile. It's like, oh, I recognize that profile. And then you like sometimes you'll even like shout at them or whatever, and they turn and look, and you're like, oh my god, it's a totally different person. Sure, we've all done that from time to time. This was my time. Kevin here, gonna flop top pair. Top kicker, Doug with absolutely nothing.
Percentage there, didn't I? I don't know, it's probably about like she had maybe a 5% advantage right on that flop where I was open-ended with the flush draw.
You had a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably pretty close for about 3-4 days. I came from Minnesota.
You don't call 300 pre-flop with king 6 suited to hit a flop like that and fold. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. She has to have. Yeah.
He's a YouTuber. A poker YouTuber, and he's here recording something.
At least a pair of aces.
She raised, and then there was 3 other callers when it came back to me, and I was already in for 75. That's why I called. Like 41 on my money.
She definitely got king 6.
Okay, all right.
How long are you in Houston? Valdez, yeah. He's right over. He's right here.
It would be sick if she had something like king 7. Snap called your shove with top pair, and then you river.
She raised 300 pre-flop. She had a monster.
I'm not saying she did, but it'd be funny.
All right, hand number 84. We're cruising through these hands. Been playing for 2 hours and 23 minutes by my counter, and we've gotten through 84 hands. That's pretty good.
Yeah, running aces. Yeah, that's like northern suburbs.
A lot of times in a 4-hour stream,
I've never been there.
be, you know, somewhere around 100 to 120 hands, but we're already approaching 100 hands.
Hayden, I love your buddy Valdez. Really? Yes, he plays in Humble. Yeah, he plays in Humble, bro. I know. He plays at the hangar and stuff. Yeah, I've seen his stuff. I really like it.
All right, seat 3 check.
I like anybody who does poker content around Houston and places I know, you know. And his is entertaining.
Who is it?
Heads up here between Doug and our newcomer Big Red, who apparently has bought in for 1,000. As we now see, flops top pair. And
The black guy? Oh, okay.
still best through the turn. It is kind of a scary card. Pair's the second card on the board, so tough for Doug to rep anything here. And with the front door flush coming in, Big Red just going to check back and try to fade the river, perhaps get to a cheaper showdown. And it looks like a 7 here on the end. Now it's back over to Doug. Does he want to bluff the ace-queen high, no heart?
Because they were uncapped, so you were. They used to be real good.
I think all the actions at TCH.
That was back when.
Thank you.
Looks like yes. 265 in the middle. Is Doug going to overbet this? Now looks like he's lining up exactly pot. And there it is, 265.
Here's the problem with rounders.
Bet check bet lines here are, yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's going to be like aces, kings, queens with a heart, but there's just not very many combos of that. So the other times it's going to be a bluff, which includes this time. See if Big Red can sniff it out. He does, makes the call.
They had a betting line with a lot of amateurs.
Well played there by Big Red. Comes in, wins. Nice pot right off the bat. Chips up 1,400.
Dewey got kicked out of so many. He got kicked out of the Texas.
He showed up here like a couple weeks ago. It was funny. That's the first time I've seen him in years.
Bro, I got a buddy who's dealing at the Texas Card House, and he just won $80,000 online this week. And you know, when a poker player who deals, once they have a big score, their dealing gig is always
It was
like,
like the guy that got kicked out of
you know, hanging in the balance. So this guy just won $80K online, and he's dealing at Texas Card House. And Dewey's sitting in the 5 seat talking shit to him. And I said, I know this is going to happen. He did it. The dealer just dropped the deck. He said, I quit.
That's funny.
Dewey has been kicked out of so many places, bro.
Yeah, he don't know how to shut up.
And I have this thing where I
How did you do that? How did you do that?
Amazing talent,
bro.
It is weird.
For some reason, there's a character like Dewey who has problems with everybody else. I get along well with him.
Yeah.
I think it's because they see that I think they're a little bit funny.
Well, I enjoy him at the table because he does create a lot of action.
All right, so Kevin was in the straddle. Optimize did the raising from the hijack. Suited ace queen. He's going to get 3-bet from the straddle. Not quite 4x from out of position.
And like 2 people came over and took a picture, and I was just like, okay, I'm either no chance I can film because I'm exposed, or because the 4 guy knew where I was. Then he sits down, he gets in, and I just tried, and no one said anything. Okay. I got like 2 shorts out of it.
Oh yeah.
Makes the call.
You never know. It seems very
He got into it with this dude named Jesse. I've tried so many times.
Kevin, the effective stack, a little over 1,000. That's not true. We can see the chips there. He's got a 1K orange chip with a purple 500 on top of it, plus the remaining chip. So he is much closer to 1,600.
Yeah.
Dewey's a character.
I've seen him when
Down bet to 150, and Optimize just done with it.
But he's always seems to be the
994.
Yeah.
Ace queen straight into the muck for a small bet. Wow.
Like he doesn't. He just wants to go back and forth, but he don't want to get there.
People are never sure how to take it.
Yeah.
He's so loud and crazy. He's tall.
Every time.
You gotta be afraid of crazy people.
Yeah.
Bump up.
Do you so you know Bird? Another black guy. He used to deliver pizzas. He'd always bring the pizzas. He always makes a bird noise when he comes in.
Yeah, I think I know.
I think you know if you've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. If you want a really good 1-3,
Yeah, there's good action over there.
Drive up north to Dallas.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, check out Social up there. It's super cool.
But I always play Hold'em, so that's probably why I've never met you there. Because I'm sure we're there at the same time.
Yeah.
Before.
This is
VPIP 9% for Greg.
Yeah.
By far holding down the bottom end of the spectrum here. 9% VPIP.
It's crazy.
I just had too much of an edge in me overall. Some of these people had never played before.
Right.
Day 2 of the tournament.
College Station, you got
Action
Jokers of
starts
Aguilan.
on C3
Really
with
fun
a
game.
check. 4, check. 5, check.
All right, let's get some hands scanned in here and see what we're working with. It's middle set for Kevin.
Which one?
On the top board.
Which one in Waco?
I see some pairs, some flush draws.
Hard club or something, or
The bottom board now, trip queens here for big red.
Because I go through there all the time. I want to check it out
there's
one
a
time.
room there. I don't know what the name is because one closed.
3, 4, 5, check. 7, pots, 225. Actions on 8.
Big red gonna pot it.
I feel like I'm playing Uno.
As the royal flush draw, we can see that the ace of diamonds in optimized hand. So royal not incoming, but a very strong holding nonetheless with the ace queen, or excuse me, the king queen. Plenty of danglers to fill up here.
What size games do they play there? Like for no limit holders, like 1-3?
It's like typical Texas where it's like that size, but it plays like twice as big, or you know.
Yeah, no, that's good. I don't mind.
Go on Atlas or just search.
Kevin makes the call with the middle set of tens. And we're going to go 3 ways to the rivers.
Later afternoon, yeah.
No boat for
But I like
Kevin.
places like that because you get some characters there.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like when you have one table, but it's a good table. And
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the king high straight and
games like that.
the trip queens here. Big red going to scoop this.
I think the room that closed
As well, he's going to bet and get no callers, of course, as well. But he'll take this one down.
the biggest, the smallest big game ever, right? So it was like a 1-2 game, but everyone had like 10K stacks. Like crazy players. Yeah. I think they closed, but another one was open.
Carlo joining us in the chat. What's up, my man? Welcome in.
How's the race?
Really good.
A little after 9 p.m. Central Time here, TCH Live Wednesday. Hanging out with you guys here on this auspicious day. The first 2 flights of the Trailblazer Tour $1 million main event kicking off. The 5 p.m. flight about to go on break with the end of registration closing here just about 15, maybe 18 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. So if you are in the room or nearby, now's your chance to come get into the 5 p.m. flight. Otherwise, your next chance is going to be tomorrow at noon. And we'll have the same structure each day, noon and 5 p.m., Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Of course, we'll also have some bounties on some of these poker players at the table right here. We got Wolfgang, Greg Raymer, and Fireman Scott each have their own day. If you knock one of them out in the main event, you will get free time for the rest of the year here at TCH Social in Austin. Pretty great little gig, you know. I mean, you can knock someone out, take their chips, improve your chances of making it to day 2 on Sunday, and getting yourself a big chunk of the $1 million guaranteed prize pool in the main event. $800 is all it takes to buy into that tournament.
How do you mute the...
Tell your wife, tell your kids.
I would just take it off.
They paying everybody down here.
Yeah, maybe that's the right thing to do.
Just us?
You want to chop?
When you step
You not allowed on the street?
I don't know. Do you want to chop every time or play every time? Either answer is acceptable.
Poker Views here looks like they might be a little bit behind.
Nah, I don't do that.
Okay, let's play.
Just now chiming in about the King 6 beating her queens. Yeah, definitely not the way she drew it up, and unfortunately has decided to take her leave, being replaced by Big Red, who is not involved in this hand, but Greg is going to go to battle against Brawny, and neither player has anything, but
Let's hope it's worse than
we are continuing with our 9 highs here.
Maybe.
Pair of 3s, though, for Brawny on the turn after check calling. I guess he had some backdoors, right? So,
yeah, dark check.
You know, some opportunities there, perhaps.
We can bet it.
River Ace, and Brawny checks again. Greg here is going to go into full shutdown mode. He just gives it up. And he's like, wow, you floated me with a 3-outer,
You had 3 outs.
and you drilled it. All right.
Do you
Thank you.
miss?
Is there any phones allowed at the table now?
No, my drink.
Thank
Hey, how you know Valdez?
Can you break this for
They
me?
said no phones on the
We are
stage.
business partners. So we use online.
Here's a peek at what the trophies look like. This is the trophy for the 500K guarantee tournament that wrapped up just a couple days ago. I made the final table. Was fortunate enough to come in 6th place. Not quite able to secure the top one, but I believe the $1 million guarantee trophy is going to look very similar to that one. Perhaps it will be a little bit more embellished, perhaps not. I haven't seen it yet, but it'd be pretty awesome to have that on your mantelpiece.
Games in Texas are too tight.
I'll be in there battling for it tomorrow. If you eliminate me, you don't get free time for the rest of the year, but you do get an order of waffle fries. That's right. Knock me out of the tournament, you get some waffle fries, baby. So who wants it more? You know?
5 and 6 full.
That's right. Trailblazer trophies are awesome. Waffle fry bounties are awesome. Free time for the rest of the year now. That's really awesome. I mean, that's really awesome. So check the website, texascardhouse.com. for all of the information. I believe they'll have the banner ads up on the website to show you who you need to knock out on what day in order to get your goodies. We've also got that information posted on little posters around the room. As Jason here is going to go to battle against Kevin. Kevin with the king high and betting, but Jason not going anywhere just yet.
Yeah.
And go for the check call with 5-3 on 10-9-9.
So I think they.
And it's always coming 3 on the turn. So, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Just not what I expect from a mother and a little girl.
Agreed.
Leads out for 50, and yeah, this is not good for Kevin with the black king 4. And unless he thinks Jason is up to no good. I mean, he does beat some like straight draw, flush draw sort of hands, right? You know, you can imagine there's just like some.
Is on his way to eat his food.
I mean, if he's got 5-3-0, he may have just like Jack 6 of diamonds or something. But yeah, King 4 goes.
My kids are making me nervous because my buddy Joe, his kids are like late junior high, early high school, and he's like, bro, it's not funny. My kids go to school with kids that identify as squirrels, and dogs and shit. So now every time I see my kids playing dogs and cats, I'm like, stop playing.
I mean, that has to be a joke, right? Like, who seriously thinks they're a squirrel?
Yeah, my buddy says that there's kids at his kid's school that identify as animals.
If one of my old jobs, there was a guy that identified it as a cat, and he
I think
like,
he's been
made them
told
put
that,
a
and it's
litter
not
box
true.
in like the bathroom, and he would go to the bathroom in a litter box.
What?
Like, that's fucked up. That's too.
There's some
far.
weird stuff out there. I believe it.
I ain't never seen police pull me over. I'm gonna identify as a white guy.
There's some good action. Yeah. Not normally, but probably when you're there. They like to get There was this one guy that like shoved on him blind. It was crazy.
Jack high board 2 tone. Optimized with Squadouche. Kevin, bottom pair. Checky we go to a mystery turn that whatever it is, Optimize has decided that 3 high must start betting if it is to win. And indeed, turn is 9, I believe. Black 9. Kevin makes the call. And Optimize literally cannot have a worse hand unless the river is a 3 or a deuce.
Anywhere in Texas.
So presumably he will be betting. It is a king of clubs, and there it is. 225. Big bet. And Kevin quickly makes the call. He's like, nah, you don't have anything. And he is correct.
Man, he's disrespectful. Just snaps you off.
Everything for 3 hours.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Really snap. I saw him twitch. He was nervous about
Maybe
it.
you shouldn't have given that $200 for time. Maybe you need some more money to buy in.
He was nervous about it. He has to tell. I saw it.
But the rake is not high.
Optimize there, just
the
trying
house is gonna
to
so much
console himself a little bit after he goes for the check flop on Jack 9-8 two-tone. Start betting on the 9 on the turn and then bomb it on the river. Yeah, you like sometimes you have a 9, sure, but very rarely do you have a 9, right? Like pretty hard to have a 9 when there's 2 of them out there. So yeah, Kevin snaps it off with the bottom pair,
Like a 1-2
as you
game,
do.
most of them are going to rake like 5 or 10% up to 15. And then the slightly bigger games are usually like 5 or 10% up to 25. So, I mean, here they know, like 9 people, they're getting $108 an hour. There, it depends how many hands you're getting out.
That's 45.
Blake over there
I mean, they do at least
enjoying
do, like,
the
no follow-up
salmon
drop on all
dish,
those games.
one that I have
Very
enjoyed
rare to have no
on
follow-up.
multiple occasions
what do you
at
do now?
TCH Social here in Austin.
I mean, you
One
could-
of
you
the
could
most
make a
delicious
living in those
dishes
games.
on the menu. They're all really, really good, but that one in particular really hits the spot. Flopped flush here for Jason.
You'd be much better off like coming here.
Doug
playing in the
has a
Israel
big
spend
diamond,
$12 an hour, you would make a lot
and
more
so he
money.
will call the bet of 25.
With the same size bankroll.
And if a diamond rolls off that is not the 6 of diamonds, Doug will improve to the better hand. But we are now going to go checky, and oh my God, it's the 6 of diamonds. Are you kidding me? Straight flush for Jason Mitchell.
Oh, wait, action's on you. So check or bet.
And he just showed the hand.
If I was going to relocate just to play poker,
He literally just turned over the straight flush.
What can I do?
No, don't, Kevin. Let him do whatever he's doing.
And Doug is like, wait a minute, I don't know why you just showed that to me, because I might have value bet my jack high flush, but like, you literally just showed me the stone cold nuts. There's no better hand. You just showed it to me.
This guy right here was about to ship it.
What just happened?
That's my bad. Please, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to make a straight flush. I mean, that may have been just like the best hand that Jason has ever made. I mean, let's be honest. Like, he just drilled a gutty to the straight flush.
Like when there's 4 diamonds down there and you have a straight
Brain
flush,
overload, you know, just show the hand.
You don't lose all your bad.
Sorry?
Face, fuchsia, tongue out, indeed,
C2, 3, and 4,
says Carlo repeatedly. Yeah, face, fuchsia, tongue out. My goodness. Lucky Doug there, right? I mean, like, what's he going to lose? Like $100 or something, right? Like he value bets. Jason check raises him. He folds. He's got the jack of diamonds. It's no big deal. But, like, he certainly don't just turn the cards over like that, usually. Greg here has drifted down to 8% BPIP. Big Red at 11%. He gets a pass. He's only just recently joined us. After that, Scott is also below 20%, but Kevin Optimize hanging out at 32%, sort of driving the action here.
It was plus 140.
I got him at plus 450.
She's a massage.
They did have the ball go down 7.
We have a straddle for 20.
And then I took the line strike and half.
4 with a raise to 60.
Everybody's eating the salmon here. Is that the best?
Kevin here, he ain't folding no king queen,
You guys trying to be healthy?
even under the gun. Only get 60 to go.
The Caesar dressing here is
Wolfgang here on the button. King 4 suited, seemingly interested, and he's going to float this one. All right, let's see. Jason here, a real raggy 6 deuce. So Jason gonna give himself a little tune-up from the licensed massage therapist from Texas Royal Touch.
Okay.
Come on, you eat like a bird.
Doug makes the call from the straddle with 2 black 9s.
Yeah.
Sees a very favorable board for pocket 9s, but it checks through, and now Doug will have the opportunity to probe here with 200 in the middle.
Tall enough to be above average, short enough to be above average, and that's it.
Bet half pot.
Oh, I don't want to be 6
I
would
Wolfgang with
rather
a pair of 4s
so much more comfortable.
might decide to stick around. This is the straddle, so they're going to have some sort of, off-suited connectee stuff that does interact with this board. And yeah, sure enough, Wolfgang just lets it go. Doug tries to helicopter the cards up high so that they could be seen, but it was very sloppy. Nobody sees. Nobody can.
Ja, oni kaže, oni priče isto, ne rekao, možeš da igraš cijelu godinu i da budeš u minusu u turnirima kod dobar igrač. Ne možeš da igraš cijelu godinu i da budeš u minusu u cash igrama kod dobar igrač, ako ne nisi dobar igrač. On kaže, što je razlika. Pričam za turnire. Ja, turniri su puno različiti nego cash. On kaže, nikad ne treba da budeš šut kad ubaciš pare u turniru kad si 60% ili više favorite. I ako izgubiš, tako što, ako ti ne možeš to da pobediš, nećeš igrati.
We're picking up some, like, Italian or something? Like, did somebody run off with... Oh, oh, okay. I get it. It's Bronny. Bronny's talking on the phone or something. I was like, what is going on here?
No, I gave him back, so actually we're still live. Yeah. Vidimo.
You're more likely to be targeted the smaller you are.
I was like, did somebody, like, run off with the microphone and it was stolen by, like...
What are you doing? Oh, drinking tonight?
My assumption is everyone here can easily
somebody?
kick my ass.
Stolen by somebody. That's
Which is why I would run away if anyone wanted to.
Looks like he's back off the phone, and
well, I wouldn't run away,
back
but
to
I would
speaking
walk
English. As Kevin here from the straddle looks down at Ace King.
I really like their steak.
Big Red and Jason single raise pot. Here comes the squeeze.
Maybe once. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. Did you just get it?
No, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I like it.
We just wanted. That's good. The salmon's good. I found.
I like the shepherd's pie. Have you ever had it?
No, I didn't even have that.
3s in the mug.
I like the shepherd's.
Jason really shouldn't be calling here, not for this size, and he does let it go.
On that shepherd's pie. It's good.
Wow. Who's doing commentary? I didn't see that on the menu. I didn't know they had
I
that.
think they have like here for lunch. They do a limited menu for the Trailblazers. That's the only reason. But yeah, during the regular week.
All right, let's look at profit and loss here. Greg still up the most, 1,200. Big Red sits down, plays an orbit, boom, up 1,000. Let's go. Doug is up $179, and after that, people are stuck. Kevin, of the players that are at the table, Kevin stuck the most, down 865. Fireman, Scott, and Jason all sit down. right around 500. Not too much damage here. I mean, it's 510, and you know, sometimes we see this game play a little bit bigger, but
I like Sriracha better than Tabasco.
nobody really getting run over. Nobody really just running off with things. You know, sometimes you'll have one person just go on a full-blown heater and scoop up all the chips on the table, or have another player who just gets absolutely steamrolled at every opportunity. That is not the case here tonight. We've seen a lot of this sort of raggy stuff,
for a long time.
and this hand is no exception. 3 ways to a flop, some offsuit aces versus a suited king 6. And Bronny doing work with that suited king 6. This time flops a flush draw, just like last time.
Barrels that do not interact with the mash. Tabasco, they put the mash into used whiskey barrels. So if you're like Jack Daniels or someone like that, you don't reuse the barrels. You sell them to Michelhenny or other people like that.
Makes sense.
So a lot of the hot sauces on the shelf in the grocery store, because Tabasco is kind of the original, they follow that same kind of thing, and they
Doug
age
here
it
bets
in the
$10
whiskey barrels.
trying to induce
And I can't stand those
a
flavors.
big raise. Bronny actually just calls with the king high,
Good value
hoping
bet.
that Doug has missed like an inferior flush draw, or perhaps had
But if you like whiskey,
a
then
counterfeit
you're more likely to enjoy
2 pair.
I want to check because I think it bluff.
You might like Tabasco. That might be part of the reason you. It's like, I like whiskey, but I don't like Tabasco. You're allowed. I'm just saying.
Too much thinking.
No, I love all those shows, man. I'm always curious about stuff. People who have no curiosity, like that's like a mental defect or something.
7 folds. 8 is going to raise to 30. Actions on 9.
Agreed. That's why I always pay off.
I wish you were more curious about the next card to come.
Here we go. The
Well,
3-bet
That's a different story, huh?
strategy continues here from Wolfgang.
There's no
Optimize
there's no
opens, Wolfgang
comprehension or
3-bet.
understanding to be gained.
A dynamic that presumably Optimize is getting relatively tired of. This time he has 9-8 offsuit.
But I am incapable of
If he
playing
takes
bad
this
on
to
purpose.
battle, no. Definitely need to have some folds. He gets shown the deuces, and Optimize is probably thinking to himself, you're 3-betting me with deuces.
Just never. Now, maybe
What else
I'm
are you
there,
shooting?
I have a bad read. I think you're bluffing, but you fooled me. You know, or whatever. I'll make those mistakes all the time. But I am like, if I just know like this is a bad call, I can't do it.
All right, Eric Van Loosen, if you are out there,
Make a mistake. That means it's a true.
it's
Like,
time for us to
I-
gamble again.
It's not a. I just wanted to gamble.
Demonstrate your presence in the chat.
And I make those mistakes all the
And
time.
then you're welcome to gamble first if you'd like. I went first last
I
time.
enjoy it. I find it boring.
Actually, well, I mean, by the time you actually had enough points to go, you went first.
If you had a roulette wheel
You
with
won,
no
I
zero,
lost.
so it was, like,
So
totally
I'm going to go
fair,
first.
even the
And
money.
then if you're here,
I
you can go next.
You would never like what Scott did, right? Or you shut
Go
the
me.
eights, and then you call with some like just a hand.
10-9
a
suited.
hand
Jack
you know
10
you're
suited,
behind with, right? Like Jack 9 offsuit or something, right? You would never
Ooh, ship it.
Oh, don't give it to him. Like, what about Jack?
Just to give him action
Let's
or
make
something?
let's make it a little more challenging for him. What about Queen 10 suited? That's a little more
shoves it in.
challenging. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if I thought
You're in the $20 straddle. He shoves in 350, and you have Queen 10 suited.
Yeah.
unless I think Queen 10 has like, 49% equity or whatever, 48% against his range, no.
So you're never gonna put it.
If I think I'm gonna average a profit of $1 by calling, I'll call. If I think I'm gonna average a loss of $1 or more, I fold. And I
Greg
will
Raymer,
get it wrong all the
full-blown
time.
GTO robot.
I'll think it's this and it's really that.
Jason here calls pre, makes the best hand, leads.
I mean, but if I've played charity tournaments
Spicy.
where I'm not allowed to win the prize and I'm still trying to win the tournament. Like if I win and you finish second,
Kevin here
you get
making the
prize.
call
I
with
get
the
nothing.
jacks, pretty much just hoping
I
that
still
the
try to
turn
win
is
'cause
a
I just
jack.
can't
Let's
play
be
bad on
honest.
purpose.
When someone
So if
leads
you see me make a
on a
bad play,
rainbow
that means
ace-high board,
it was a bad
you don't
play.
really ever expect to have the best hand. I mean, sometimes people will just spaz and do weird stuff with complete error, but
because I cannot make the.
Not very often. Maybe like pocket threes or something.
Giving me a buy-in, so I'm gonna lose.
Jason
Even
slows
then, I
down
would be trying-
on the turn, and Kevin is now going to try to get him to fold a king.
Too, but if you bag, you'll min cash.
Yeah.
Cupcake, we aired an exclusive interview between the owner and CEO of the Texas Card House with Ken Paxton a little while ago. You're welcome to go back and rewatch it if you'd like, but no, he is not going to play on the stream, did not play, and will not. Jason goes for the check call, and after that, Kevin's probably going to think to himself, like, oh, God, okay, I guess you just have it, whatever it is, and it's this tiny little of 50. Wow. Jason bringing out all the moves, and now Kevin's in a very awkward spot. Doesn't have a diamond either, so pretty tough for him to rep a flush. But also Jason, yeah, he just is sort of repping a very strange kind of hand. Kevin just puts them all in. He's like, I don't know what's going on here. There's a lot of money out there, and you probably just don't have anything. So I'm just going to go all in and make you fold everything.
I never straddle unless it's mandatory.
And Jason doesn't give a shit. He calls off with King 7 on that board. And Kevin gives him the fist bump. He's like, yeah, good call, man. Oh my God, that is the best hand of the night. Let's go.
You had a read on it.
Kevin goes for the bluff all in with jacks. Jason just absolutely savages him with the King 7 call. Oh my God, that is my favorite hand of all time. Can we please clip that immediately? It must be on the internet.
So I'm going to play fewer hands out of the ball.
Drop a deuce in the chat if that was the favorite hand of the night for you as well. That right there is.
And then some places out there, there are some.
That is peak poker
like if he is allowed a button
on
straddle,
TCH Live. Wesley, PokerFace Ash, she got stacked, and
no one is raised, then it's me, then you, and then him.
yeah, from what I understand, there's some health issues in her family, unfortunately, and so she's, I think, sort of dealing with some things. So all of our thoughts and our hearts are with PokerFace Ash in this challenging time, but we appreciate her coming down, playing with us today.
Apparently someone was able to do some special programming with GTO Wizard. They were investigating the value of a button straddle. And the headline implied that the answer is it's a money loser.
Yeah, absolutely. What a call, right? I mean, that's just like, nah, bro, you're just not going to push me around here.
Be able to prove that with a simulation.
And yeah, the big chips are supposed to be up front.
When you're running hot makes a difference.
There we go.
Even if it was true, I don't see how you could ever prove that in a simulation.
That is a good lesson, I think, for Kevin as well.
85 to me?
Kevin, a very strong poker player. He's been around the Austin area for a while. I've definitely tangoed with him many a time. And I mean, it's a spot where you know that your opponent just doesn't have a strong hand. Like, everything about the way that they've interacted with the hand has shown that they just don't have something super strong. So you're just like, well, how do I win the hand? I put them all in. Like, they literally have to call with a hand that I know is not very good, and it should work, right? Like, in theory.
Fight it. But they really don't want to do it.
Jason's just like, no, I like my hand. I call.
Personally, I am immune to peer pressure.
Sometimes you just gotta know. You just have to know your customer.
We're all doing this.
And I think that's a time where Kevin barked up the wrong tree. All right, here we go. Ace high flop, ace high hand for optimize. So he's got a pair of aces. That is how it works. Jason is in there with a gut shot to Broadway. Needs a jack, doesn't get a jack.
A little bit over on the spectrum. It gains you a few superpowers.
And yeah, Wesley, exactly right. Like, hit the straight flush hand, right? Like, And I mean, you know, there's certainly an argument to be had for like, okay, you know, if this guy is, you know, sort of inexperienced and whatever, just like turned over the straight flush, like he's probably, when faced with the prospect of losing all of his chips, right, probably just going to fold. Probably just done. Even if he has like an ace, maybe, right? But I think that's kind of a tough sell because a lot of times the more inexperienced a player is, the more likely they are to make a massive call with something just like a pair of aces, right? So there's that. Anyways, Kevin learned that lesson in that moment. Here we are on the river. Jason has raised. He's just getting after it. He's like, whatever, man. I win. And Optimize.
Payoff of the night, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Is Optimize going to fold to the min click?
But you're not really here to play poker. You're here for the show.
No. He could never. He could never. Yeah, he turns it over. He shows that he's got an ace. He puts in the call. And sure enough, he's going to win. Because Jason has tried to get him with the min click raise, and yeah, maybe if Optimize had a smaller pair, he might have thought that he was getting milked.
And I am when I win 500.
Not that time. Not folding ace.
That doesn't bother me.
Don't run some marble. There's $20 out there. It's
I am never going to criticize someone else for the decisions they make at the table. If you are playing within the rules, I'm never going to give you grief for just any decision you make.
I disagree. Kevin's call was awful.
What call? The jam.
Or the jam.
What are your thoughts on Cabral?
I don't.
Optimize trying to needle KY, Kevin.
Acting like a jerk all the time.
But the way that he said it, it made it sound like he was needling Jason. And then it's just really hard to kind of, you know, yeah, it's like the joke you have to explain or whatever. It would have been good in the moment.
That's of course horrible. But I don't know if anyone's ever.
Kevin's going to be needled enough just the way that the hand went down. He doesn't need any external needling.
It was this last year at WSOP, 90 minutes before bagging, day one of a tournament. 90 minutes. He was 2 tables behind me.
That's not a legal raise. You know better.
I can't go
He
10,
wins
20,
like
30.
a huge pot. And he gets like 3 million in chips. Second closest in chips was to him
10, 20.
was my buddy Scotty, who had like 400. 400 was like slightly above average.
The question is, do I have to go double the 20? I can't go 30.
Gabriel went all in pre-flop every single hand for 90 minutes.
I won't do any more joke bets anymore.
Not one person called.
Wolfgang here, learning how to play poker.
My buddy Scotty was like,
Gets
dude, I couldn't
his
call him. I was too close to
bet
bagging.
figured out and finds 3 overcards to his pair of 5s. Big red connects with the top pair.
This was the
Checky, now he's got a flush draw.
This is like a 1500.
That won't happen in Texas.
Like a 1500 WSOP
I don't think
event.
that's possible here.
On day 2, we didn't even last that long. But on 90 minutes.
Checky once again. Oh no, bet 25. Excuse me, bet 25 and a
basically
call.
ran the money like at the end of day 1. That's why nobody wanted to call him.
Oh, okay, so they were essentially, it was 90-minute bubble.
90-minute bubble, pretty much. He went
Yeah,
all in
so to
every
speak.
single fucking hand. And nobody called him.
I mean,
Wow.
that's,
The only way
there obviously were a lot of bad
they
folds
all
made.
just like waited their max time. Wait your max time, wait your max time. Nobody wanted to go all in. And
There's nothing wrong with what he did then, because if they're not going to call him, he might as well just steal blinds.
That's an extreme example, but there's a poker lesson in there somewhere about close to the line and how you behave and play in a tournament. And man, that's crazy.
Like his antics, like what he does. I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
But I know that I've never seen anybody have the balls to do it and do it. I mean,
get away with
minutes?
it.
90 fucking minutes. Everybody's still afraid.
Greg here finally has a primo. Ace King suited, 3-bet over Doug's open.
All they're doing is getting back the money already.
The only player at the table who I think has demonstrated that they are tighter than Doug is Greg. But even then, I don't know if Doug can fold ace queen here. Yeah, he's going to make the call. Here we go, heads up to a flop. Dominated ace for Doug out of position, and it comes king high, so he'll have an easy fold.
It was a good flop. It was a good flop for me.
Oh,
so sexy.
All right, we got a bomb pot,
Yeah, I mean,
guys.
but I mean, doing that is an interesting thing to discuss, but there's obviously nothing bad.
Yeah, we'll get the VPIPs up there, but here we are. We're looking at RFI, raise first in. Greg and Jason have not raised to open a pot. They just haven't. I mean, Doug, for as tight as he is, when he actually gets a hand that he wants to play, he raises it.
Now, maybe he's just doing nothing wrong, because I don't know that they ever caught him. But
Card distribution,
now that he knows,
obviously,
like,
also
oh, they think I'm trying to look for marks. So now he's playing into it, and he's like standing up just because it's going to get people upset.
Yeah.
All right, bomb pot time.
Seat 5, if you can rescan for me, please. Action's going to start on seat 9.
Do it all together.
10 high two-tone and queen high rainbow flops.
Something you can only do in tournaments. Because in cash games, they just tell them don't come back.
Got middle set of fours here for Wolfgang. And a gut shot backdoor flush draw
And they were
on the bottom board.
prohibiting him from standing up. Because the players were complaining that they thought he was marking
And you're
cards.
right. It looked like, even if he didn't do that, it looked like he was playing into the fact that they thought that.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like a copy. He was trying to make like a shadow of a
That's
doubt.
110. We got to raise to 110.
What is it? 110?
Yes.
Let's see here. What is Jason raising with here? My goodness. He's got a bad flush draw and just like a pair of twos. Oh my goodness. Optimize has the super nut hand. Top set on the bottom board. Top pair and nut flush draw on the top board. Like, yeah, his hand wants to get all the money in immediately. Really, really hard for him to lose.
I think it's 665, though.
Certainly hard for him to lose both boards. It is extraordinarily hard for him to lose against this hand in particular that Jason is holding. I mean, the fact that he has 29% equity is sort of astonishing. I guess that's just due to the cards that are left in the deck, due to, you know, sort of the RF poker system, knowing what cards are out and what are still in there. But my goodness, yeah, that was a big dog spot, but it doesn't get called, so Jason not going to take any damage there had he sort of hit his flush or made trip deuces or something. Yeah, Wesley, I mean, I think it's pretty standard fare for Greg. I don't think anybody has had an impression of Greg over the years that, you know, he's, you know, sort of turned into some wild maniac of a man. But, I mean, you know, like, we can just be fair about what we've seen, right? We saw him fold king-queen offsuit from, like, the hijack. It was a straddled pot, but, like, I don't think anyone else is doing that. Doug isn't doing it, right? Doug folded Jack 7 of hearts on the button. Like, I think that's tight. It is tight, but like King Queen O from any position is an open to me. And, you know, stuff like that, right? Like, we can call it out for what it is. Like, that's tight. That's very tight play. And his VPIP definitely shows that. His RFI at 0%. I mean, he's played all of his hands as either calls or 3-bets, which is fine. I mean, sometimes that's just the way it happens. But Eric, I was thinking the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing, and I thought about saying it, and I decided not to, but now you brought it up, and I can't help but agree. Wow, what a flop here for Optimize. He drills this with the bottom end of the straight. Doug has bottom pair, and this card shouldn't change anything. I mean, Doug obviously loses to like a good 9, some sort of 9-10, 9-jack or whatever that is going to continue to bet for value here, as well as any of the over pairs, excuse me. But it's a small bet here, right? Like what is Optimize ever doing here? Like bet ace jack or ace 10 or something? No, probably not. So he folds. Good fold.
I don't know what this guy did. He'd snap call, especially if it's.
But yeah, it's always interesting, right? Like you think about the evolution of poker since Greg won the main event. I mean,
if he like gets it
and just like how much poker and what kind of poker and everything like that people are playing, and how that impacts us as individuals, and how much effort we put into staying up on the times, so to speak, with modern poker theory and all of that, right? I mean, to each their own. I mean, Greg is a very successful poker player. He's continued to play this game and be successful at it over the years. Of course, doing many other things, speaking engagements. You know, he alluded to some of the things that he's done over the years. But you know, is he in there mixing it up with you know, Kristen Foxen and Phil Ivey and those guys? No, he's just not doing that.
No, I lived there for 8 years, though.
Button 8-1.
I lived in California like 4 years.
Which part?
LA, downtown, before it like started developing. For where I was in 1010 Wilshire.
Small blind.
And I stayed there pretty much till I did that movie Kong Skull Island.
Which one?
Kong Skull Island, but I was paying like $4,200 a month for rent, and I was gone for 6 months. Like I literally cried real tears paying that money. I was like, bro, this is no.
How much was it?
Which part of California were you in?
I lived
crazy, exactly.
for 4 years, and then I lived in West.
Kevin's ears are
making big money, right?
once again being devastated.
Exactly. That made me move to Atlanta.
In the downward position. Wolfgang going to open at $30 to go with the ace jack.
How'd you like New York? I'm not big
Doug
on
consuming
New York or Cali.
untold
I'm
calories.
in Cali, too. It's all right. I like the weather in the summer.
Looks like
There's
a bag
some
of
cool stuff, but
Cheetos.
overall, I don't like it. Yeah.
That man definitely known for his consumption of less than healthy snacks.
One of the funniest things I've ever
Ace,
seen.
Jack, Deuce, Rainbow. Top 2 for Wolfgang, and
And they invented a way
nothing
to
incoming.
play craps with cards.
Oh, it's a bag of Skittles, and I feel like Doug just almost inhaled the entire bag.
Auto shuffler machines, and they have, I don't know how many, but they have ace through 6 in like black back and ace through 6 in red, but like I don't know how many copies of each. You know, if it's 8 of those decks or whatever, and then the machine, when they push the button, it just spits out like the next 5 cards.
They had people standing in line.
And so like if the top card is a black back card, you know, like okay, that's the first die. And now if the next card is red, we turn it over. And that's the roll. If the next second card's black also, push it to the side and don't use it. Because that way you're going to have 1 black and 1 red, and it will be 1 chance in 6 of each number.
Bronny gets a walk, another walk. David, yeah, I don't know what the title actually is. I could pull it up on my phone, but I am not in charge of that. You're probably right.
My bank account set up right now. You know, I can't just.
So to make it, and then if all 5 cards are the same color, it's like, you know, like no roll. It'd be like if you threw the dice off the table in Vegas. It'd be like no roll, no roll.
I'm not even gonna pretend like I don't know how.
But that was, you know, and I was thinking like it's so hilarious. Like you can't have dice.
5 scenes over and over.
But you can do this, and it's the same game as craps in every respect. Except for like, you know, you don't get to.
Yeah, and I booked it over Skype.
People don't get to do all the bullshit.
For
holding
what
the dice.
movie?
Easy.
We gotta play the Nick game or something,
yeah.
I think.
Cool. Heck yeah.
Wolfgang here, frustrated by the lack of action.
It's a little bit boring, to be honest.
Yeah, it was great.
Hello?
What?
It was great.
Can you guys hear me?
Alright.
It's all good.
Okay.
50 bucks?
I don't know exactly
Okay.
how to play it, but.
So,
50.
they want to know if they can do
Wait,
the
what's
Nick
happening?
game. Wolfgang asked if
Like if you don't play a
do we
hand
have like
for
net
round,
buttons? What do we do for buttons? Glamours?
I might have enough stickers. Let me see.
Wolfgang may have brought stickers.
Yeah, it's, everyone
He might have
is
enough
standing
stickers.
up. When you win a pot, you get to sit down. The last guy standing up.
Oh, how cute.
No physically standing.
Well, but the idea is the same. When you're the last guy left, you owe everyone money. I'm out though.
What do we play?
I'm not. No,
all-
I won't
it's all
win or
right.
lose.
You know what? Actually, guys, I think this is going to be my night.
What is this?
Okay, I think it's.
I hate to leave.
He wants to do
You
the
leaving
stand-up
us?
game or the Nick
Yeah,
game.
I was on the
So
road.
Greg is putting the kibosh on it.
I had to bring my kid to school this morning, and then I shot straight here, so I've been up since like 6.
Jason looks like he might be not long for the world as well, but
I mean, I'll play if everybody else wants to play. I don't care.
yeah, the tricky thing about doing the stand-up game and not having everyone in it is that one person just gets to reap all of the rewards. Right? Like if everybody else is battling to try to win hands to not lose the Nick game and you're not even playing, you just know that everybody is playing way wider. And so you just get to continue to play your game knowing that they're all playing way wider. I mean, that's a huge advantage. So, I mean, if Greg doesn't want to play, then I presume the game is not going to
I
happen.
guarantee you're sub 15 right now, Kevin. Do you want to take the over/under on 15?
Do I need to go back to the 2-5 table, or y'all gonna start
You'll
gambling?
take the over on 15? I'll take the over. All right, as of 9:24
So
on
y'all gonna start
stream,
gambling? I need to go back to the 2-5
he
table.
raises to 30. Remember exactly when this
We're
is.
getting a timestamp here to try to check some VPIPs, it looks like.
For what?
You really think it's more than 15?
I'll give you 25.
Who would you put?
25%.
Back-to-back
Who are
$10
you,
bucks.
who are you calling as the lowest?
You asked to increase the bet, so I know I need to decrease the bet.
Yeah, give me a second. Yeah.
I'll give you 30%.
All right, so Jason is racking up, it
You're gonna
looks
give
like.
me edge?
For $50.
And then
$50, 30%.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on, if we're getting another player coming in right away or whatnot, but
Literally, like my blog that I
I
look
literally
forward to
gave you
seeing,
better
brother.
fucking line than you gave me.
Yeah, you're getting too cocky about it. You're giving off tells. You need to book the bet. You need to book the bet.
Hey, can I
I'm literally the highest VPIP at the table.
I mean, Fireman Scott just folded King Queen as well. I mean, yeah, we're definitely
Well, I mean, if I'm meeting
$100.
the aggregate,
we're definitely in tight territory. Big Red here, excuse me, Greg with the kings. He's going to open the button. And yeah, sure enough, like
I'm never going to complain.
no
about not
takers.
getting enough action.
Right now, 9:35 p.m. You don't get to now splash the pot every hand and raise your.
I don't think Greg Raymer is tipping Greenbergs now. I don't think that's
This
real.
is about what you've done, not about what you can do with a $100 bet on the line in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, Anna, she's having a good time.
You booked the bet.
Anyone
He's
worried
bought
for how they
925.
choose to play
It's
their
done.
cards?
I said
The nearest stats to right now, we're gonna look at.
I'll teach in my seminars, like if you criticize someone else for how they played their hand, you're
I'll let you roll it. I'll let you roll it back.
Hey, my God! I love it. That's fire.
That was awesome. Yeah, I know, right?
I love it. That was
No
dope.
drama.
That was
Just,
dope.
you
Send
know,
me that. You gotta send me that for sure.
Jason's about to rack up and get out of here. Wolfgang was feeling like the game was playing pretty nitty, wanted to introduce the nit game. Some players were into it. Greg was not. So, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. Just,
Yeah, exactly. Put him in the front.
you know, we're playing cards. We're chilling. I mean, what else would anybody want to do on a Wednesday evening, you know?
Without.
We've been at this for,
Not zesty.
what? When did we even get started? It was 3 hours and 15 minutes ago. So, yeah.
You're talking to me. You're good. You're good.
We've just been hanging out, having a good time. these gentlemen and previously one lady, PokerFace Ash, played with us for a little while. Of course, big shout out to all of our poker influencers who came to play with us here this evening and who participated in the meetup game out on the main floor. Wolfgang Poker, Greg Raymer, got Fireman Scott, and of course, I mean, we also had Jason Mitchell, of course, the critically acclaimed actor from a TV show that I don't watch, and I forgot what it's called. And I think that's everybody, right? Greg Raymer, PokerFace Ash, Wolfgang, Fireman Scott. What happened to Ash? She got stacked, and she's been dealing with some family stuff to be
I was distracted. Should have bluffed you.
Nondescript.
Failure to execute,
So,
like Kevin
of course, we once again, nothing but positive vibes for Ashley and her family. But yeah, she's been replaced by Big Red, who came in and pretty much won the first hand he played and has been
I don't have my phone on me, so I can't.
doing quite well here.
Hey,
good game.
Nice call. Nice call.
Hey, good call, dude.
Yeah,
Good game to Jason. Great call
Nice call. Nice play, man.
by him. All in call against Kevin for all the chips with just second pair no kicker. Amazing call.
Wonder why you keep mumbling.
And here we go. Jason has taken his leave. Thank you so much, Jason Mitchell, for joining us here on TCH Live.
If you guys bet the money,
He fucking looks you
No
up with
way.
that-
Did they really watch it?
He fucking looks you up with that King 7.
You haven't been on it.
Thomas Gardner joining us in the chat. Says, great job Monday. Just rewatched it. Hey, thanks a lot, man.
did you guys ever make that bet?
Appreciate it. Yeah, 6th place. Very happy. And, oh, yes, straight out of Compton. There it is.
That's definitely your baby sister.
Thank you, Eric,
Hey,
for
what
helping
do
me out there.
Are you making the bet with him
But
or
yes,
no, right now? 'Cause I think she can ask.
hoping to make another final
Oh,
table
just-
appearance here for the main
No,
event.
you can't
I'll
do
be
that
in the mix
again.
tomorrow.
You can she can ask.
You can come and try to take me out, win some free waffle fries.
You offer me 15% more.
Fat chance of that happening, but good luck to each of you. Each and every one of you, I should say. And,
the bet is
yeah.
whether you were the highest VPIP at 9:25 p.m. this evening on this stream.
Okay, speaking of VPIPs, could you ask them, could
Yeah,
they go around the
she
table
can
and
ask.
say everyone's VPIPs?
Or just give us the highest and the lowest.
What happens to the
I got Raymer for the lowest.
I'll be fine with that.
So the VPIP shaming continues, which I'm all for. I mean, I'm all for it, right? Like, yes, I get it. Like, you come in, you don't want to just, like, torch your money trying to play every hand you see, but, you know, we're here to play as well, and we're on a live stream, so we want it to be entertaining, of course, we all want to play.
Feels right.
And we want to see these guys play. But, you know,
Don't worry,
each their
I
own.
will not be
It's whatever, we're having a good time. Let's just enjoy the night. As Doug here goes from top trips to top trips and an up and downer on the turn. So gut shot, 2 overs for Optimize. He is drawing very thin.
Spice it up a little bit here. If people need to see something fun, you know?
See, for me, the way to spice it
I
up
know,
is
Thomas, and I'm not even the one buying the waffle fries. Turns out, producer David is the one footing the bill for that one. But, yeah.
That's one.
I mean, I was jealous, right? Let's be honest. I was jealous. I don't have a bounty. Nobody gets free time for the rest of the year if they knock me out. Unlike Fireman Scott, Wolfgang,
So you're gonna end up with 3 full
and
boards
Greg
on the end,
Raymer.
but As soon as she puts out the 3 rivers,
But waffle fries,
the lowest
those things are
ranking
delicious.
card, you kill the board.
How delicious is free time?
How you doing,
Not. It's not delicious. How could it be?
Valdez.
It's ethereal.
So, like,
It doesn't
the
even
boards
exist,
came
man.
10-6 deuce.
Waffle fries,
That
though.
Deuce river
Hell
killed
yeah.
the whole board, and now it's like double board, split the pot.
All right, Doug here fills up on the end. He's going to bet. Optimize is going to fold.
I haven't ever heard of it happening,
There
but
it
if it came like 10-10-10, then you would kill only the lowest suit.
All right, a new player coming in. Let's go. Who do we got here?
But that's the
We
kind of
have,
game, I tell you,
well, it's not
especially in
Jason
Omaha,
Mitchell anymore. So
'cause people can end up
we're
with,
going
you
to
know,
get
huge
the name
hands on
updated
multiple
here.
boards
We do have a new
more
player
easily.
coming into the 1
And
seat.
then, if you're really lucky, someone just has monster, and they lose both boards.
1775.
So it could make for a little fun on in the editing process. The real miracle, which won't happen, is flop a royal on 2 different boards and then lose both boards.
Wesley, how much longer is the stream going?
It's got to be like $1 trillion. Unclear.
If it
happened, it would be epic.
I was told that these fine folks would be playing. I said I would love to commentate that game, and here I am. That is the extent of my knowledge. So
this perfectly drawn circle.
we'll see how much further the game, how many more legs the game has, how much further it can go. Words or hearts, I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's on Greg. He folds.
They were doing this.
Yeah, that was more like they had a button and they drew around it. And that's why you get these
Valdez. All right, Valdez coming in to the
like
1
doing like a
seed.
protractor type circle.
David DiCarlo says Valdez in the house. Is he playing? All right, apparently Valdez has some notoriety. Let's go. Some critical acclaim, much like his predecessor.
I think you have it, Greg.
Got a cool little, is that a,
I'm used to getting paid off.
what is that? Is that a
In
dog?
every game, way too much.
That's fair.
Figurine?
And so it
Didn't quite get a good enough look at it. Ace 9-9. Nobody has any of that. King high is the best hand at the moment. We're going to see a turn card. Changes nothing.
Double getter.
Tom, you played Deuce 7 single with Greg Raymer last week. Yeah, very nice guy. Absolutely. And yeah, what a cool tournament. I'm not sad that I couldn't play it because I was in day 2 of the 500K, but I am sad that I didn't get to play it because, like, all of my cool Deuce 7 peeps were playing it. Mike freaking won it. And, yeah, would have been a lot of fun to play with you and the boys. But, oh, I'm sorry.
It's going to be the easiest vlog you ever filmed. No graphics. They're going to put it all up for you.
15.
Yep. 3, 31.
31.
4, 31.
31.
5, 23.
20? Oh, 20. Okay, I thought you were 23.
6 is 9.
9!
Wow.
Greg!
9%?
15. 31.
31
31. We got a lot of 31.
Champion.
VPIP champ.
What was Kevin? What was Kevin?
Doug is the VPIP champion.
What do you say?
No, 31, 31.
9, she said, which surprises me.
Greg, I know you're
David
not
says
excited.
Valdez is doing well for himself. Famous. Okay, great.
Not him.
What?
It is.
What the fuck are you
You were
talking
small
about?
Pay up, bro.
He's 31? No,
Yeah.
he's not 30. Yeah, I think my beef is
And, just to be clear, it was Doug that's 31, right?
15, 31, 31, 23.
31 to 31.
Yeah.
4, 31.
Dude, we're fucking.
All right.
End of the
Push.
stream.
Push.
End of the stream. Whoever's highest. $100.
No, push. Push. It's a tie.
I like that they're trying to push the action here.
Raise to
Dude, we're out of
25.
control here.
So that's good.
Yeah, the last time I was commentating a live stream and they put up the VPIP, the tightest player was 36. It was PLO, which does make a difference, but still.
Here we go.
36.
Doug here 3-betting the button over the open from
Those
Valdez.
numbers even like hit me like, oh my gosh, couldn't believe
No.
like how I knew how loose everyone was, but when I saw the actual numbers, I was just like gobsmacked.
Back over to Valdez. He's going to make the call.
Yes.
And we'll go heads up to a flop. Valdez buying in for right around 23, 2400. It looks like 2400 to start the hand.
15%.
Out of position against the King 10. Flops well though. Only one overcard. But Doug with the 2 spades is going to continue small.
I mean, I do like Zoom lessons. I do
50.
private lessons with people on Zoom.
Check call from Valdez. Here we go to a turn. 275 in the middle.
Please stop teaching our fish.
But I mean, there's so many spots where I would like, I'll be telling them like, okay, yeah, you should be bluffing this river. And I'm thinking to myself, I would never bluff this river because I know I'm getting called so much more often than they are.
Wow.
But then on the flip side, there's lots of spots where I would say like, yeah, you shouldn't be going for thin value here. It's too thin, don't do it. But then I would be like, but I will. I would go for thin value there because, again, I'm going to get
Check,
called
check,
way
turn,
more
check,
than
check,
you will.
river.
Interesting.
So what you're saying is you're not going to book an hour?
I feel like I'm getting the training right now.
Greg describing some of his training exercises
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm
and
just
how
used to
different it
that.
is to be
can't even
in like a
imagine
very
how many
small
times
stakes
this
game
has been
versus
so
a
many years
mid-stakes
that
game or whatnot.
I've decided this is a good spot to bluff, and they call me, and I still win.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. I like it.
Yeah. It's like they call me with king high. I'm like, okay, you're right. I was bluffing. I thought I could get away with it this time, and then they're showing me like king queen high, and I'm like, oh well, no, I do have that beat.
You playing any real
Like-
good games in Dallas?
Any good games?
Like any like something you like specifically like to play in, like big crowd or like a private.
I play. You know who Free Coin Randy is?
I was about to tell you, like last time.
He has a private game that I play in. It's sick. It's a 10-25 crazy game, no rake.
All my favorite people, right
here.
here.
A couple times at TCH, and I ran real good. We had a good time too.
3 players to a flop, 5 high. We are seeing some dusty boards. Top pair for Doug. Gut shot for Kevin.
In their expenses for the year, they are willing to lose like a few $100,000 playing poker every year. They play on a Thursday game. It's a 5-10 that always has over 100K in it. Other than that, I only play 10 hours a week, so I don't really grind. I just play to make videos.
I think the most extreme one I can remember is I used to play a lot of Heartland Poker Tour main events.
I don't play very much, so I don't get first.
And so you don't make the money on day one. So it's day 2. We're within one table of making the money. I raise with a small pair. The short stack calls me from the small blind. He checks the ace, king, queen flop. His stack is like no more than like 1.4 times the pot. So I just bet enough to put them all in. And he's just like, God, I know you're just being a bully. I know you're bluffing. I know you're bluffing. And he's just like, okay, I call. So I'm like, my pair of 5s can't be any good. He has jack 9. So I mean, he did have 10 outs twice, but it's just like dude, like you could fold your way to a min cash where you're at, and you're gonna call it off with jack high. And like I could have easily been bluffing there with like a queen jack, where I think I'm bluffing, but I'm not.
Right.
You know, it's like.
Yeah, or
and
pocket
so
fives.
Now he's out of the tournament, like, and everyone else is like, what just happened? Like, why would that guy call you? And I'm like, because they do.
Well, it was real fun before.
Because they just do.
I didn't play there, but it was crazy.
They used to be the spot. Everybody was there.
Yeah.
It's not very often I'm like trying to run bluffs.
Like it's fun to go there if you want to go on a date and mess around at night.
I mean, if I
Greg says it's not very often that I'm the guy trying to run bluffs. Well,
Yeah.
9% VPIP checks out. Couple of 9s here for Valdez. Going to raise it up. Choctaw nuts, no good for Greg. Big red, king, queen. Here we go. From the big blind. Going to 3-bet it up.
You obviously have fans. And some people have decided to watch the stream to see you. But not just see you in a pink shirt. Just like see you like do a move or do something.
I wore this for Ken Paxton because I thought if any shirt color was going to maybe annoy him, it would be pink.
Everybody would love to see him pull off a big bluff. Huh?
Valdez makes the call.
I'm not going to insult him or say anything because, I mean, I'm a very liberal person when it comes to politics.
So is Doug.
So I'm going to be totally polite and all that, but I just figured like if he was annoyed by just the color of his shirt, it'd be this one.
Hey, liberal people fit in well in Austin. There's lots of liberal people.
I know. I was shocked when I went to HEB and you like, oh wait, you need grocery bags. I'm like, well, yeah. And it's like, okay, they're 30 cents each. How many do you want? And I'm like,
that's California.
Like I've seen that in California. and
Yeah,
stuff.
they do it here too.
I mean, and then he goes, I said, wow, I'm surprised.
Old
to see
man
that in
has
Texas.
seen
And the
Anna
guy
the dealer before, all the way down in
cashier, he's
Florida.
like, yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
just Austin,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah.
She's a great one.
Different from Texas.
I don't have any problem with it at all. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's just a
I
different-
just was surprised to see it in Texas.
Well, it's like, I think what they say is most Texas families, they have one kid that's going to be a rancher and he goes off to college at Texas Tech. They got another kid that's going to be an attorney and he goes to UT. And they got another kid that's going to be a landman or an oil man. He goes to Texas A&M. All the kids that are
Prettiest
gonna be
hands in
starving
poker.
artists and musicians,
That's
they go to Austin.
a little tagline not too many people can claim.
What about SMU and TCH?
Kevin here going to open it up with Queen Jack. Bronny has a Queen Jack.
Those are rich kids.
I know a few.
Yeah, I mean, I came like all the way
Full.
on the outskirts of Austin here. People have guns and shit.
Greg,
It's
ace
fucking
jack
scary.
calls.
I'm at home downtown. I feel safe. I can walk around. People have tattoos everywhere. People helping each other.
Definitely a spot where a lot of the time we're going to see 3 bets with the ace jack on the button against a hijack open. Greg decides to just call. Optimize will do the 3 betting. Takes it up to 175 and call and fold from Greg. And
I mean,
yes, it's a good fold in that he was behind, but
Scintillating.
I mean, he's really
action.
definitely
Won't bother me either way.
nugging it up here.
Probably my loosest call.
RFI is 1%.
Has a 4.2 hour.
Ronnie 5%. Fireman Scott down at 12%. He has been handcuffed by card distribution by and large, but has also shown himself capable of folding hands from early position that one would traditionally see raised. And then we go up substantially from there.
But very different from everywhere else.
The hot Carl Mo. The hot Carl. Turn on the net game. Yeah, I mean,
I don't have 9-7. I got a break.
but Greg already said that he's not going to play the net game. And if one player is not going to play the net game, then no one should play it, right? Like, you're just sacrificing your own EV to try to have more fun or something. But, like, the guy that you want to open up and play a little bit more is not going to play the game. Well, what's the point? All right, now we've got a little bit of a clash here between Wolfgang and Big Red, as Optimize not involved in this one. And what do you know? Top 2 pair for Wolfgang, Big Red, full with.
Yeah, Daryl's my boy.
Ooh, Jerry apparently has the inside track on Anna being an awesome singer.
The Black Stallion,
cool.
Tyrone.
Back to the mushroom, the dried apples.
You know Tyrone, you in the Bucks, bro. Every Thursday. We going to the Bucks.
As Wolfgang going to take that one down.
Yeah, Tyrone's always ready to go to Buck Wild.
Can't believe I just let a 600 mile work on it.
So small too. He's like a fifth of the putt.
I know.
Yeah, some of them people that used to play with her around me, they all play at TCH now.
Wolfgang, no amount of Moscow mules will make him pleased with the action that is being given here tonight. And I understand the frustration. I have definitely been in games where it just feels like the paint is drying very, very slowly, and you know it's not entertaining. But you know, we're doing the thing. Live streaming here on TCH Live Wednesday, a special feature here. And we want to thank all of you guys for tuning in.
No, but if you guys all want to, I can step out.
Hanging out with
You
us.
play without me.
And hope that you're ready to tune back in on Monday for the final table of the 1 mil guaranteed. Now that is going to be a show you're not going to want to miss. Hopefully I'm there on the felt again, repeat performance. If I'm not, I'll be in the booth
And I can, like,
with a good friend of mine doing the commentary. Ooh, nice flop here, Kevin, with the up and down or backdoor clubs. Big Red over pair of aces. This is not going to be a whimper of a pot, as at least some chips are going to go in here on the flop. Kevin with the up and down or backdoor clubs doesn't need to check raise here. He can do that with things like 7-8. And so he will just make the call. Here we go to a turn. 385 in the middle. It's a 6 of spades, not the card that Kevin had in mind, although he does pick up a pair. No, a bracelet winner by the name of Michael Perroni will be joining me on the air.
Probably wouldn't do that, but
it would be nice to get Carolyn in here. I was supposed to do it with Carolyn last time, but I made the final table and she got roped into work. Well, she was already scheduled to work. I was trying to rope her into commentary. Didn't work out, so we'll try to do that again in the future, but hopefully I get to dodge work again by being at the final table. Kevin makes the call, and he gets there on the river. Makes the 7 high straight, and now the question in his mind has got to be, do I lead this river, or do I check and give my opponent an opportunity to bet so that I can check raise? Now, the betting lead was never taken by Kevin, so donking here is, you know, it's a little bit out of tempo, or doesn't go with the natural flow of the game up to this point. But it's also really tough for him to get his opponent to bet for value with 1 pair holdings after the board runs out 4 to a straight. So he's going to do the betting himself, makes it 675. And Big Red giving him the stare down there. The question in his mind has got to be, oh, well, never mind. He answered the question, and he is going to pay him off. The question in his mind should have been, what bluffs does Kevin ever get here with? Because that's the only thing I beat. Like, obviously, Kevin is not going to lead the river for 2/3 with, like, king-queen, trying to get paid by a worse hand. I don't think that's happening. I don't think Kevin's doing it. I don't think anyone else is doing it. So how does he get to the river with a hand that I beat that decides it needs to bluff? And maybe it's something like ace-6 that had some backdoors, floated the flop, turned a pair, gets to the river, says, I never win, and just leads out for 2/3? Yeah, I don't think even somebody who's trying to be balanced is finding those. And it's just not very many hands. So, just not. I just don't think it's happening. But, you know, sometimes you get aces and it feels like you should win. I know that feeling.
I'll be here through the main event this week.
And you never just like want to be like ahead the whole way, then have your opponent donk lead the river, and then you just like fold the best hand. Like, God, how miserable would that be, right? Like, you would hate yourself. So I get it.
Think about hitting
People can exploit me. You raise and then you know.
Of course, Alex.
And you raise. No,
that's the fucking game. They got to play like 4 hours a month.
Yeah, they'll have like a floor or whatever.
Maybe it'll make them play
cash
more.
or credit card.
Didn't realize, sorry, I was trying to talk about the hand. I know that the conversations and everything are also entertaining. I definitely was trying to stay out of the way earlier, but we finally had a hand to talk about. So, sorry. Anyways, we continue. Valdez up $5. That's a trip to Taco Bell for 2 items. Oh, absolutely, Alex. No, I hear you. And I appreciate you doing your request in a very forthright and diplomatic tone. Some people are not quite.
Slow the game down, dude. You couldn't just walk your fat ass all the way to the cage. He's gonna go.
I asked her, where do I tell? Yeah. I asked her.
He's big bone.
I asked her, where do I tell?
Oh, sorry, no, your mom and sister watching. I apologize. He's just thick.
That's 1,100. You want 11?
He's been having too many steaks here in Texas.
He's big bone.
Big bone, yeah, he's big bone.
All right, here's an add-on for Big Red.
Feel your pain. being big bone.
It looks like you need to grow that beard and hair out and be in one Game of Thrones or something, one of the Viking movies.
Yeah, something.
If poker doesn't work out.
Yeah, poker don't work out.
Do you hear?
Oh yeah.
This guy talking about. I said, "How'd you get that easy E part?" He goes, "Man, I wasn't doing nothing. Like my friend got killed, or whatever. So I decided to take an $800."
Yeah, Tom. Some people are not so tactful.
Good investment.
But it's always a fine line.
He said there was 7. He was the 7,001st person to try out for the part of Easy E. Yeah, he played Easy E. Over 7,000 people tried out for that part. He got it. Yeah.
What movie was this? I don't know.
Straight Outta Compton. The movie about NWA. He played Easy E.
I've never seen the movie, so I didn't know.
Good movie. He played the part well.
Good movie, yeah.
It sort of feels like he was made for that part. His voice even sounds similar to his normal
A lot of fake defense over there.
Now we go back to like Game of Thrones and movies like that, and those themes. Then I probably know
you
it.
got something I pulled.
Oh my God, bro! I can't hear anything you're saying through that mask. I can't hear a word. Everything's getting caught.
You're big blind. Kevin, you're big blind.
What's up, baby?
There's a lot of sass here tonight. I can feel the energy in the air. These guys are sassing it up. I like it.
It's good.
Bronny just folds ace jack under the gun. Oh no. Oh no. That's what we're working with here, people. Ace jack folded under the gun. Oh no. If I was Wolfgang, I think I would have just 3-bet that 7 deuce right there, just to just try to power a hand through with 7 deuce and win and show it and be like, come on, people, right? Like that would prove your case. 8-6 here, middle pair, straight draw for Kevin. Optimize, gut shot over cards. See some chips go in here. Check raise from Kevin. Optimize actually has a hand that can float here. A lot of times you just sort of ditch your overcards when you get check raised, because even if you improve to a pair, it's not really that good. Oh no. Optimize there, backdoor diamonds and the immediate gut shot to the jack high straight. I think you need to float there. That was a little bit tight. But what else is new, right? We've got a theme, and we're sticking to it.
I saw highlights.
You think Bronny will ever touch the floor again?
Yeah.
Really? Well, I'm talking about like this year, like next game.
Yeah.
You think he'll get minutes in every game?
Just because of
6 and 7 full. 8
you think he deserves it though?
9 raises to 30.
That other rookie they have, that dude out of Xavier, he's way better. Yeah.
All right, Wolfgang going to open the queen 9 suited.
He's good. But the other dude, the dude with the dreadlocks or the corner.
For 30, not 300.
Yeah,
Valdez makes the call, covering spades.
I met somebody and he started getting emotional and cried.
And wow, what a flop here. Wolfgang drills it with the queen high straight, checks. Valdez, second pair, backdoor spades. Pretty much exactly the kind of hand that I would think to check back most of the time. Valdez disagrees. He is going to bet for 30. This will open the pot for Wolfgang, coming for the check raise. But instead, it's going to be a check call here. Doesn't want to scare his opponent off. 5 of hearts rolls off, and I presume we're going to get a check from Wolfgang again. We do. And now after Valdez gets the check and the call, on the flop is going to bet again 80 here. Hoping that Wolfgang has something like Queen 10, King 10, 9 10 that didn't see bet the flop, I guess. Those are the sort of hands that you're targeting for value. 8 9.
Figured okay, it's been 4 hours. I'll get out of the way. So.
And here comes the check raise now. 275. Yeah, this is the danger of betting in position with hands that don't really want to play big pots. Certainly don't want to see check raises. Because if you have the best hand, you're never going to know if you're good on the river, right? Like any card can change the texture. You might already be behind. Like, what are your chances of improving? Drilling an ace or a 10? Is that even good? Who knows? Does make the call. 685 in the middle. It's a queen. Wolfgang still has the best hand, but he's only playing the 9 now. And this is like sort of the irritating spot where you're like, come on, man. I had this just like locked. Now the queen comes. Like, I'm probably still best, but like, now this board is scary. He can like fold 2 pairs. Let's see if he bets middling.
Most 5-card draw games that you
Oh,
find
small.
out in poker rooms are triple draw, meaning you're going to get your hand and
255. Yeah, just a tickle
draw,
here.
second draw, and then third draw, bet, and then it's showdown. So you're going to end up with 3 draws, 4 rounds of betting, and you're playing usually.
Tom, yeah, absolutely. Lottie hates ace queen.
So whoever makes the highest hand gets half the pot. Whoever makes the lowest hand gets half.
Tax my cash.
And you get to draw 3 times. And that is a
Wesley,
very,
Kevin
very
check raised to 100 on a bet at 25. It was relatively modest. Valdez does find the fold, and Wolfgang is going to drag a nice little pot. That's our first pot near $1,000 for quite some time, so that'll be nice for him and his bottom line, as that will move him further into the positive. 775 of profit here.
When the game started, we would all pick like 1 or 2 games.
Probably
and that would be the mix we're going to play today.
That would have been disgusting.
And that would always be one of the ones I would want to pick.
I guess so.
After this hand.
Last hand.
All right, hand number 123. This is going to be the final hand of the stream. And we're going to do a $25 bomb pot, double board PLO, to sort of bring things to conclusion here as we're coming up on the 10:30 p.m. Central Time slot. And with that, it's going to be time for your boy Aaron to sail off into the sunset, go get my beauty rest before the noon flight tomorrow of the $1 Million Guarantee main event, $800 buy-in. That's the one you guys want. This is the one. Full swing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, day 1 flights at noon and 5 p.m. $1 million guaranteed in the prize pool, $800 buy-in. And if you knock me out, you get waffle fries. What better event is there? I'll tell you. There isn't one. Come on down, hang out with me tomorrow. TCH Social here in Austin. All right. Kevin has negative 2% equity. I don't know what that was about.
I really think I'm starting to like this hand.
Greg, also negative 2% equity. Get these guys out of here. These hands are so bad they can't possibly win. They have to put more money into the pot just for existing.
I'll play tomorrow, though. Yeah.
So I guess we're all going out after this.
I've never seen that before, but it's a continuing glitch. It just keeps going down the line. I don't know what's going on there. Kevin, though, bets. He's got a bunch of stuff and wins. And with that, we're going to rack up chips and sign off.
Guys, don't forget to leave your microphones, please, with me.
Yeah, don't forget to leave your microphones. Okay, for myself and all the staff here at TCH, Texas Card House, here in Austin, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Wednesday evening here, TCH Live on YouTube, also Kick, X, Facebook, wherever else we're streaming. Sorry, I don't know all the things. But, yeah, it was great hanging out with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you all on Monday, whether I'm playing or doing the commentary. The final table live stream starting somewhere around 4:15, 4:30 p.m. Central Time on Monday. Don't miss it. It's going to be a fantastic final table. A lot of money is going to get paid out, and really looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much. With that, we're going to go ahead and sign off.